Dictate.
Because I'm worth it.
Yeah.
Hello, what's up, guys? I just realized I forgot to tweet this out, so let me do that real quick. What's up, everybody?
Hi, everyone. I'm doing
Hello,
great. I had
Dr.
a
Phil.
nap.
What?
You're like, hi everybody, it's The Simpsons.
Oh, hi,
Hello,
everybody.
Dr. Nick.
Well,
now
just-
all I have is thank you to Disbrew, by the way, because now I'm not going to be able to stop talking about this. Dick titties.
Look, it was on fubar. It's not my fault. It was just.
What?
I think it's a great name.
Dick
I love how
titties.
Wicked was here for the conversation, has no idea what was happening.
Nope. I didn't tweet it out, so that's my
She's-
brain is
she's
like, whoopsie
tweeting. She's
doopsie.
busy. Multitasking.
Well,
It's okay.
I think it's Fubar Season 2, Episode 3, and it's called Tango and Smash. And it has that episode. Look, it is a woke show, 100%, but it's also
Okay.
quite funny.
I love that you're
because-
watching this. Okay.
Well, it is so random, and I'm watching it because it's got Arnold Schwarzenegger in it. If he wasn't in it, I wouldn't watch it.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't know you loved Arnold. That's so cute.
Well, one of his most like wealthy kind of roles. The show that he made the most out of was the movie was Twins, which is just a
oh, I
comedy.
love that's how me and X-Ray look next to each other.
Wait, what?
It's Danny DeVito
One
and
tall,
Arnold
one was
Schwarzenegger.
small.
One
Yeah.
small, one was small.
Oh, sorry. I'm like, what does that even mean? I look like Arnie?
But they got all the money in the back end for it. It was kind of like a surprise hit for
That's
them.
what whores get too.
Um,
No kidding.
But Arnie's always been quite interested in comedies because he still delivers everything exactly the same. So it just comes across as bizarre. Like everything's kind of deadpan. And this show, it's just like it's completely farcical, but it's a comedy, so it kind of gets away with it. So when you watch Trinity,
Mhm.
literally just strap him to a chair and then have a way with him. I'm like, what on earth is happening? Well, across the street, you've got a terrorist forcing a date upon Arnie's daughter and be like, I'll only tell you where your father is if you dance with me and do the tango. And it's one of the hottest dances I've ever seen. It is up there with True Lies at the start.
True Lies is a very good. That's my favorite Arnold movie. Jamie Lee Curtis, like, excuse me, who told you could look like that?
Oh
Yeah,
wait,
but they
that clip.
do a
I've
different
seen
version
that
of the
clip.
tango, but it is the same kind of thing. They clearly mimicked True Lies.
It's very
sexy.
I need to learn how to dance like that. Mine's just like
Boris.
Well, it ends with one of the women that are just like all the guys, because I think there's like 3 guys which are after her, including the one she's dancing with. So they're hating him, and he's got like an electric shock thing tied to his man parts. And he's like, give it to me. He's like, no, not until it's over. And then it all finishes. And I think she hates him at the start of the dance, loves him at the end of it. And this woman just goes, she's pregnant now. It was like, the show has to be seen to be believed. And it is definitely 100% woke. But it's still kind of funny.
It's like the funny woke. Like what we find funny is not supposed to be funny, like that kind.
Well, it's trying to be funny, but I think I'm finding it funny for different reasons.
That's what I mean. Like they don't want us to think it's funny for those reasons. That's what I meant.
Well, it's not. There is some commentary. I think there was more commentary in season 1 than season 2. By what I mean by that is more. It's got all your typical identity groups. It's clearly been picked by Tickbox, but they're also really stereotypical. So they do have the butch lesbian character, but she is everything. Like you can probably imagine how she looks right now, and you will be correct.
short hair.
Until
like
she opens her mouth,
beater.
you would think she was a man, a fat man.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. But it is that kind of show, but it's also like there's a thing with Trinity when she's on him and they're discussing what it's like to be a spy in old age. So she's like, yeah, it's really my memory's not what it used to. Sometimes I walk into a room and forget who I have to kill. And he's like, yeah, sometimes I shoot people and I can't even think of a funny line afterwards. And it's so bizarre, it kind of works. I think season 1, they all get smashed, so they're all off their faces on various different substances. And then there's a major disaster happens in Las Vegas. So they're just going around Las Vegas trying to stop the world from ending off their face. That kind of weird show.
So it's like accidentally satirical?
No, it's deliberately satirical. It's just... there's things like the casting, which are clearly tick boxed and that kind of stuff.
Okay, I mean, if it's entertaining, that's what we've asked for.
It is kind of... It's kind of like Willow. I think that's kind of why I like it. This is meant to be a comedy, and I do find it funny. But I don't get American humor anyway, so I don't think I'm getting their actual jokes or anything. I think I'm finding it funny because it's so weird. I think that's my appeal.
For different reasons.
Like
Yeah.
She-Hulk.
Speaking of like the whole like American versus like the British stuff, I finally saw Sinners. Did you see it yet, X-Ray, or no?
Yep.
So my thoughts on it, I didn't dislike it at all, but I get what Disbrew was saying about it.
I don't
looked
get
at it. It was a good period piece, but I don't really look at it as
Well, there was
like,
vampires,
really...
so that would be useful for them.
Well, yeah, but I didn't look at it as like a too much of a horror. It's like it's a period piece.
I wasn't sure if that was a good...
Sorry, that took a second to load.
I was just gonna leave it if no one got it.
Oh, God.
I was like in the zone, like with what I was gonna say about it. So like, kind of took a second to
It's like
comprehend.
a takeaway meal.
Give me a second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But no, like I liked it. I thought that the period piece stuff was great. But I didn't really look at it as a horror movie. They're still going.
She snorted. That was what got me.
I'm so warm right now from laughing. I'm so sorry, Lincoln. She's trying to be
you're
serious and I'm laughing.
No, you're
at
fine.
period piece.
Oh yeah, no, it's just I don't know. I don't want to say that I don't get the hype, but I do understand why some people didn't think that it was just like the best movie of the year.
Well,
it was to me.
I don't think
like,
it's the best movie of the year.
No, to me it was like okay, it was like they portrayed the time very well. It was 1932, and that's how it was at that time. But like I didn't look at it as like a horror or suspense. It was more like these brothers try to open, you know, a dance club.
Funny.
They try to open a dance club and they
barely
get
a
into a
vampire
situation.
movie.
Yeah, no, barely. So, but I wouldn't say that it was like a waste of time to watch, but I totally understand. Like there was, I feel like the majority really loved it, which is fine. Like I didn't hate the movie at all, but I didn't leave it like thinking about it afterwards. You know what I mean? Like when you see a really good movie and then you're like picking it apart in your head, like when you go home or, I mean, I watched it on Max, but after you watch it, you're like thinking about it. That didn't happen with me.
Well, I think it's the same. Like at the moment, a load of people really don't like Jurassic Park movie. It's doing really well at the box office.
Did you see it?
So,
Either of you?
But
You both did, right?
I see the movies as similar things in the fact that a lot of people like Sinners. So I'm not gonna say it's a bad movie. I can't stand it, but it's clearly got a target market and they really like it. And I see the same thing as Jurassic Park. I thought it was meh. But a load of people love that kind of movie, and they really just want to watch dinosaurs eat people. So I'm not going to, like, say there isn't a place for it, because by the box office, it proves that it has value to somebody. And there's definitely a large enough group to make it profitable. It's just with Sinners, domestic box office, 278 million, international, 86.
They did a lot, yeah.
But that is a very American audience, and internationally, didn't really go anywhere.
It's done crap. Now, I will say this. These two movies, entertaining, but an entertaining movie can also be a bad movie, and that's
disagree. Okay. No, I think like if because someone said, "What's your favorite bad movie?" and I said, "It's not the kind of thing I get. I have to see things in context for it to be jig and get an answer." And so I saw Resident Evil being talked about, and I was like, Resident Evil 2. I love Resident Evil 2, and everyone thinks it's a crap movie.
I've
so
never
that's what I
seen
said.
it.
I love all the Resident Evil movies.
But then someone said, no, it's got to be a bad movie. You have to like a bad movie. I'm like, well, any movie I like, I will consider a good movie.
What's
Like-
the last Resident Evil movie? The one where she like turns into some sort
I
of
think it was, like,
god
the
and
final
flies in the sky.
I think it was the final chapter.
I know
the-
that was a bad movie, but I still liked it. I thought it was so silly.
If you like a movie, I don't think it's bad. Like from your like, obviously by your definition, it has to be good because you liked it.
Okay, so because it's entertaining. Subjectively, I think
movies should be entertaining.
But
Well,
objectively, you're like, I can see why people don't like it.
Well, that's why like some people call a movie like their guilty pleasure movie because they know that not a lot of people like it, but they love it. So like to them, it's a good movie. So I get what Disru's saying. Like,
Well, no, it's like
everybody has a guilty pleasure movie where they just love it, and then like a lot of people are like, "Ew, what's wrong with you?"
I think the issue I take with it is like they're action dinosaur movies or horror movies. They are just gory deaths from dinosaurs who run away. The point isn't really the plot. The point isn't almost the characters. It's just to watch people die for 90 minutes. And the mistake that this movie made was it was too long. It wasn't. It forgot what it was, and it tried to be a proper movie when it should have just been an entertaining movie. But I think if a movie entertained you, by that definition, it's good because it's done its job. Like it's a bucket that held water. That's all you wanted from it. You didn't want it to sing you a next X Club 7 album. I don't know why that was the first band from not my head where here we are.
No, well, S Club 7, I think, you have
my
to really
mind just
pop
jumped
music.
back 30 years from. I was like, name a band.
S Club 7 still exists. I think it's like 4 people now. I watched them literally 6-7 years ago on stage.
They had a show. Oh, did you like live?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow!
I
It
know
was like a 90s throwback like event.
She's so proud of that. She was like, "Yes, I did.
I loved it.
I would have
They
loved
were
to see them
moaning
back
years
then.
ago because they're at the height of their thing after the I think they were in it for like 2 years, cancelled their agent, and they said they made about 100 grand each for all the years.
They
They were in
had
such terrible contracts. They
I
made
remember-
basically nothing.
Watching their show. I don't even remember what it was about. I can't tell you. I remember like one specific scene. They were it was like a Christmas episode, and they were like dragging a Christmas tree along the beach, like to go decorate it. That's like the
Oh
only
my
thing
God.
that's
Well,
in my
'cause
head. I
They're
think
like
it was.
Australian, some of them, right?
I think the show might have been like in California or something though. I
Mm.
don't know. I can't even tell you what the show was about. I think it was on like ABC Family or something, or like ABC. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah. Well, back in those days, I feel like the contracts were much more for the corporation, and now artists, they're getting smarter, trying to get their bag
Yeah.
big.
Oh yeah, backlight bag. Oh, I sounded exactly like you.
Oh, so as well, I was going to say 2 Americans, but an American Canadian. Can you understand what this is? Black
Sinners?
American Sign Language. Jay Longbone's
Well-
gone hurt, and I'm like, is there a different sign language?
Somebody in the chat know, because I literally have never heard of Black American Sign Language.
Yeah,
I
I
know,
know- I've
the
heard of
American
ASL.
Sign. Yeah.
But is there like one with an accent? I'm really confused what that even means.
Hold on, I'm gonna Google it. What?
Is it if like a
What?
black person just does it instead?
That's what I'm assuming, but that seems to be a really weird thing to have as like an
Your
IGN
promo.
headline.
Okay, so I Googled it. Black American Sign Language, or Black Sign Variation, is a dialect of American Sign Language used most commonly by deaf Black Americans in the United States. So it
That
doesn't
is
explain
so niche.
anything.
What?
No, but that is so niche because now, I mean, it's already bad enough that around the world we have different sign languages.
That should be a universal language.
I didn't know that there
realistically.
was.
Come on.
I mean, I figured
I knew
obviously like
Americans-
different languages had different sign language, but I didn't
knew
know
am-
there was.
I knew Americans had their own, but imagine like
Yeah.
walking along through America, meeting a black guy, and be like, "Sorry, we speak different languages."
I can't.
Like,
I
so
can't
what?
sign you.
Yeah.
My bad.
the universal thing for I don't know.
Okay, let's see. So BSL. Sorry,
Basil.
it looks like basil. I almost said basil.
They should call it basilisk.
That is
BASL.
racist, wicked.
Tends to have a larger signing space, meaning that some signs are produced further away from the body than
No,
in other
So
dialects.
they're more dramatic. They
So-
sign things dramatically.
I
Oh my
guess so.
Just
Signers of
They are though.
you might have just offended
Like,
somebody in being
American sign language is like, they're like this, and they're like, "Way."
we got timid American sign language. I don't know how to sign. Sorry.
They're like,
uh,
"Hey, up, he's deaf. You're gonna have to give him some
I
space."
know this is flower. but I don't know if it's in.
So if you
the
did this
essay.
is flour,
Well,
you had to
that's
do like this.
flour.
No, the biggest danger, I don't know which sign language it is, but it's one of them. The biggest danger is the difference between beard and lesbian is about 2 inches.
That's what
It's the
she
same.
said.
It's the same sign. It's the same sign. It's the V. That's beard. You don't want to raise it.
What is happening? You know
I
what?
don't know.
Someone in chat just put Italian sign language, and as Wicked, who is an Italian, who has talked with her hands
Still.
to dangerous.
Just everything
like,
is that. They
No,
only
no.
do it in like one hand, two
No,
hands, shaking them.
Wicked literally could hurt people with her her sign language.
And that would be dangerous because she's the right hand to hit him in the dick titties.
Remember dick
Mama.
toes,
Oh!
chat? What's worse,
Sorry.
dick titties or dick toes?
Ew, I don't know what I never heard of
Toes?
either until
What?
this moment.
There's a movie Chris Gore let us know about on the Nooner called Dick Toes. And he showed the poster, and then I tried to look for the poster, trying to show someone, one of my friends, about it. And let's just say, don't do that. If you
I can imagine that was
search
a risky searcher.
for Dick Toes the movie, whew, I saw things I did not want to see.
Yeah, you just end up with feet jobs.
Well, that and dick titties. Don't want to search that either.
Well, at least you know what you're going to get with that one.
Oh my
The
goodness.
clue's in the name.
Well,
I'm scared.
before we get started, I feel like it looks like
We
I
haven't
already
even got
have to,
started. What?
I have to catch
Yeah.
up. I mean, before we get started in like the topics.
It's like, welcome, chat.
Welcome.
Hey, I just got here. We have super chats,
Cheers.
guys. Cheers. I know I'm gonna go get something in just a minute. I was kind of like rushing. I just have some water. Don't worry,
Oh.
guys. I'll get like
Oh,
some
yeah,
beer.
Wicked started this
I'll
stream.
get this. I'll get this.
Wicked
I'll be right
started this
back.
stream with, I'll go and get a beer when I press start, and then just
Yeah,
stayed here.
Totally.
and then,
did.
and then I
20
did.
minutes.
I wouldn't have made it back in time, but
I
here
totally disarmed her with my comment before we
Yeah, she-
started.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Maza Salamanca with the 99-cent super sticker. Thank you so much, Maza. That
The
actually
skinhead
works.
Moz.
Cajun Corey for $5 says, "Why are there no knock knock jokes about America? Because freedom rings." Oh, I don't think Disbrew was very impressed about that one.
I don't get the rings. I don't know if that's an American thing. Do you have
I think it's
freedom
American
rings?
thing. Matey has gifted a Wicked Virtue membership. Thank you so much, mate. Or Matey. Oh my god.
Jukebox.
It's
Is that an Amazon
it's my
parcel?
okay. The lore for this. It's shoebox. Thank you for the $5. I heard you were
Oh,
shaming
I
the
will
extra
always
girl.
read that as you. I will always forget.
Or Shue. Did I not take your fart blanket to its destination? I may be ugly, but I did my job. I can show you what I did. So I sent my blanket that I sold on eBay to its recipient, and apparently it was almost denied because it looked so shoddy. The wrapping job I did, which I will admit was pretty bad.
Didn't you just put it in a box?
Yeah, I did. It just looked like a really bad box. All right, so let me share this video then.
I've never heard of shipping companies refusing a parcel.
No, the
because...
recipient almost refused it.
Oh,
They didn't
they
know
not know
what
what
it
it
was.
was? Oh.
So that's why. Here, wait 1 second. I gotta download. Oh, that's why it's over there. I didn't know where I saved it. Okay, here. So that is the box.
yeah.
I put a lot of tape around it.
And it's still busted a little bit.
No, that's the way I wrapped it.
Oh, okay. It looks like there's a hole. I'm like, dang.
Yeah, Amazon boxes are not very strong, especially if they go internationally. It's not going to survive.
Yeah,
Look,
but the inside was
X-ray.
fine. Okay. Oh,
Well, it's a blanket. Like,
so adorable.
And it's a magnet. If I want to put it on my shoulder, like I put this like under my shirt, and then
Oh, that is so cute. I have a Hello Kitty that does that too.
That's
So
what's-
exciting.
this is like my personality. I have that, and then I also have a crow.
And also, I didn't fart on the blanket, okay? Or in the blanket or around the blanket.
How about she's like, let's get back to this fart nonsense.
Yeah,
real
yeah.
quick.
Don't want to skip the fart accusation.
Exactly. Thank you for understanding me.
I get it. Girls don't fart, chat. Come on.
They really don't. We also
They
don't
crap
poop.
out like little square cubes, like owls.
What?
What?
That's what they
Are
do.
we in Minecraft?
Owls make like pellets. They're very
Women are
strange.
actually from Minecraft. The more you know. Just for... Oh my gosh. Oh, are we still doing supers here?
Oh yeah, well, I was moving through them and you came back, so I apologize.
You're
I
fine.
got distracted by farting.
In
Go
my
ahead.
box. Psychotic mongoose for 5 British pounds. Just a friendly reminder to X-ray to check the condition of her box. Thank you. My box looks like it's being taped together and held together by lots and lots of tape.
It's
Because
holding
it's
on by
falling
a
You
apart.
thread.
have not seen what it has seen.
Which is the sad thing. Honestly, I thought I was done talking about my box on Poor Choices, but it's haunted me into the weekend. So
It
thanks,
will.
chat.
Once you get a reputation for your box, that's it. Carries you
Yeah,
around
I should
forever.
have done better, to be honest. But it's not what it looks like on the outside. It's what it has on the inside.
That's why the only
Which
thing
is
better
a-
than one box is two.
A good wrapped blanket and a thank you card. Who says they have that in their box?
Normally they just want eggs.
Wow. I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh. Thank you, Mongoose. Lucifer the Doberman for Canadian 2. Hail chat. I got 40 kilometers of exercise today. Nice.
Were you biking or walking or running?
Or in a car.
That's true
You could
too.
be like in the
Yeah,
car,
that'd
just
be
like,
the best. Yeah.
you know. I mean, it could work.
It turns out like then tomorrow he's flying to a different country. This is a massive number. But I feel really in shape.
Ken Burrows for a Canadian 2, looking extra beautiful, ladies. Hello, Disparu. Thank you, Ken.
Hello.
Jason Webster for Australian 5. Highly vivacious X-ray girl, skilled recanterer and
I would
conversationalist.
say raconteur.
Wicked virtue.
I think it's a French word.
It
Oh,
would be
okay.
French.
I don't know. This
Someone who is skilled in
Disparu's
telling
gonna-
stories and anecdotes in an engaging and entertaining way.
That's
Oh,
a
thank
compliment. Damn.
Thank you. Dang. And the YouTube's king of rapier wit, Disparu.
Hi, Jason.
I just
Usually
spent
Disparu
my
goes
day
like
watching
this.
Ironheart. So.
He's like, I don't
Poor
have
thing.
anything left for
I've
you
got
guys.
lots of insults out today. Lots of laughs.
Carlos Lima for 5. Hello to the best trio on YouTube. Happy 4th of July, USA. And firework
USA.
emojis. I hope you three had a great week.
I read that
did.
as us.
Oh, it's the flag. For some reason, it doesn't pop up.
Oh, I see a
Um,
flag.
Did it
Weird.
pop up? Oh,
I
it
saw
doesn't.
fireworks.
Oh, weird.
I think because I'm using Firefox. Maybe.
Oh, maybe, yeah. I don't use Firefox because for me it doesn't share sound. It's so weird. Chris Nicholson for 2. One of S Club 7 just died. A reunion might be hard. Oh wow.
Well,
Well, that's
okay.
cool. I was S
the-
Club 666 and getting back.
Well, the last time I saw them, it was only 4. So, wonder if it was one of the ones that wanted to go on tour or not.
I don't know. Possibly.
You
I
saw
haven't
the
even.
4 less lazy ones. The rest, like, no.
Ian Soforth for 50 pounds. Thank you, Ian. No, please. I just got here. Don't start with
Dick
To be
toes.
fair,
toes.
We started with dick titties. So
Yeah, we start with dick titties, and well, then we had dick toes, and then we started talking about my box, and I don't know where we're going to next.
Well, next we're gonna go to my gosh, where'd it go? It's not funny, but Julian
okay, I'm
McMahon.
bad.
No, it's okay.
Oh
I know,
god.
he passed away.
You
at
surely
age
know how to kill the mood. Jesus.
I already had it ready to go.
You could have been
up.
like, oh no, we'll leave that one till last. She's like, no, let's start with
Can't
Cole.
you have gotten
sad
some
stuff.
jokes out before this?
Yeah,
Tim?
look, I only
We'll
know
get the
him.
sad stuff out of the way.
I only know him from Nip Tuck, where he made
No.
people uglier for a living.
No,
And
you know him
he-
from Charmed.
He fixed somebody by finding out that they were actually a man. And he was also in Cole in Charmed, where he
Yeah.
actually came from hell. So I'm just
He was a
hoping he'll get like they'll do like a Charmed 3 and he'll come back.
I never watched any of those shows, so
You didn't watch Charmed? I
watched
never watched
both
Nip Tuck,
Charmed.
but I watched Charmed. Oh wow, are you okay?
I watched
after
the
second
remake.
one?
Now, if you
Remakes
want a
look
woke
awful.
show, that is unironically the worst I've seen.
Leave it up to Hollywood to take a show that is centered around women and is technically like a feminist show, and then just make it more freaking woke. Like,
well, they advertised the remake as a feminist show, and then Alyssa Milano said, "What do you think ours was?" So she got annoyed at them. And to piss off Alyssa Milano for not being feminist enough is going some. But you know, the White Lighter in the remake, he was a university a college lecturer who specialized in gender studies. And so while he's talking them, he's giving all these like gender studies talking points and like lectures to them and to the men they meet and stuff. And he's wearing like a cardigan and he's just a really weak beta. And then in season 2, it got taken over by the guy that made what is it? Something Monkeys, 22 Monkeys or something. And he fixed the show. It's actually a really good season of television. And then for some reason, and I don't know why, season 3 goes straight back to season 1. So I don't know whether they fired him and they just like, let's return to basics. But it's the strangest series of television I've seen.
I've never seen it. I only know him. Was he Doctor Doom as well, right? Like, oh, obviously that's what this picture is from. I didn't see that. I don't remember it
either.
I just know him as Cole.
He died young, like 56 is
cancer.
Like sad.
Yeah. Very sad. Well, rest in peace, Julian McMahon. Oops. I did it again.
It was her own personal goodbye.
Goodbye.
She was like, sad face.
Wicked needs her moment.
Goodbye,
oh my gosh. I haven't done that in a while, so we were due for it. Okay. Oh, and Jason Webster for 2 says, rest in peace, Julian McMahon. Thank you, Jason. And also, Gory for 2. X-Ray's box was wrecked like her car. Oh, wow.
Wow, it's not on what's on the outside, it's what's on the inside that counts. As long as it works, guys.
I still remember a scene from Charmed where Cole is in the basement with Alyssa Milano and she's in like this boob tube thing. And it is just so they can show her off. It is just so he can be topless and she can be in next to nothing and they come upstairs sweating. That is the only reason that scene existed. And I still think we need to get back to television like that. That's what we need to do.
They did a lot of that in Charmed, and like some behind the scenes like tea.
They were always cosplaying in everything.
Oh yeah, but not even just that. So it's not a secret that Alyssa Milano and Shannon Doherty hated each other, right? And that's part of the reason why she was out of the show, because of Alyssa Milano. Shannon Doherty was engaged to Julian McMahon. After she left, they were together, and Alyssa Milano, like if you look at scenes of her and Cole, she went in like with the tongue and stuff, and it was like, damn, you're awful human, Alyssa Milano. All the way back there, like she was just.
Alyssa's original first movies were all softcore movies, so she was more than willing to do all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, but it was like a fu to Shannon Doherty. Like took her role as like lead, and then is just like sticking her tongue down her fiance's throat. Like, dang, okay. Justin Martin, thank you for being a member for 8 months. You'd think X-Ray would have learned how to wrap her box by now.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, poor.
You need to protect it properly.
I did. Okay.
No.
It arrived in the condition I sent it.
It still got destroyed.
No.
But there was one of the seasons, because at first when she used a telekinesis, she used to like squint her eyes, and later on, like she developed a power to now move her finger, and so she said she did that because she didn't want to develop wrinkles. That was it's probably the most cosmetic thing for an actor I've ever seen. Like, I want to use my hand.
She's like, I'm not trying to get Botox too early, okay?
I think they even had Botox back then.
What,
I mean,
in the 90s?
No, they had Botox, but I don't think it was as widely used.
Yeah, I think it was used all the way back, like in the 70s and stuff. But yeah, it was like very like I think it was taboo. Like now you got like Kylie Jenner's and stuff. Like, well, I got this done and this done and this done, and it was not like that back then.
Well, that's why it's called Instagram face, because it developed on Instagram. Before that, yeah, people had surgeries and stuff, but they wouldn't go massive lip fillers and cheeks sucked in and all this kind of weird stuff.
Like,
oh god, there's a video that I saw that a lot of celebrity women just went overboard. There's sad.
The fembot look now that like Shania Twain got done and Kate Beckinsale. Sorry, chat, for the jump scare. I did this on Wicked's World, but you're gonna have to see it again. Fembot, like Lost in Powers.
Oh yeah, that picture of Kate Beckinsale. That's
firstly, every time I see this, I think she's missing a foot. Like that.
Me too. Me
The
too.
cut off
Weird
makes her look
pose.
as if her leg is cut off.
It's a very
but
odd pose.
It doesn't even
Everyone-
look like her.
Not at
Everyone
all.
I saw about this was talking about her body, and I couldn't even get past her face. Like I'm like the body is so much less than the face in this picture. Just the swollen lips. Looks like she's had an allergic reaction.
It
Yeah.
makes me think of that moment when that kid in what's that movie we watched a week or two ago? Disparu, when he sees the Botoxed woman. What's wrong with
Oh,
her? Did she eat
28 years later.
shellfish?
Yeah. She looks like
So
Amber
weird.
Heard getting stung by a bee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
right.
her pose. I don't know whether
It's
it's the
weird.
makeup or the way she's posing, but her eyes look wonky. It might
Oh,
just
Well,
be the
she probably
lens.
had a lot of surgery
Well,
done on her eyes as well. Like she probably just got everything done.
I think it's the way she's posing to the camera lens, because this eye looks much bigger than this eye.
And like
just further away.
Oh yeah.
the neck color to her face color just doesn't match either. There's a lot going on there.
If
and
she
I-
would have just let herself
Look-
age gracefully, she would
Yes.
just look like a. She would still be good looking. Now it's like that's what I mean, like the fembot thing. Like what I know that's silly to say, but that's like the first thing that comes to my mind, like with the hair and everything. The same way like Shania Twain came out onto like a red carpet and she looked like she was like a freaking robot. Like
This happens because you're trying to still look 20. And the reason why this still happens is because people are obsessed with still saying that 30 and 40-year-olds look like they're 20, and they don't, and you're lying to them, and everyone knows you're lying to them. And so they try and constantly recapture it because you're lying to them, when the truth should be, yeah, you will age. There's nothing wrong with aging. You should just accept it, move on to the next stage in your life, and you will look way better if you just do that and accept it than try to fight against it.
I agree.
And that is all. The amount of times you can say anything, and people are like, no, she still looks amazing. She doesn't look as good when she was 20, though, does she? They're like, no, she doesn't. 20-year-olds look better than 40-year-olds. This is
Yeah.
fact.
Like
it's better to look 40 than to try and look like I will say that
Well,
there's
you
some
don't even look human at this point when you've
That's
had
what
that
I
much stuff
mean.
shoved in your face.
you can get the right
Yes.
things done, right? Like there's some actresses who you like you've known they've gotten a little bit done, but they didn't go overboard with it and they look okay still. But it's this crap
Yeah.
where you're just like getting everything done and it too much plastic.
Pierce Brosnan's wife looks phenomenally better than her. Even like if we go with the idea that being skinnier is, hotter.
I think that's a bad example because she's clearly let herself go. But
But I actually prefer that look over fake Barbie older
I-
look.
I will give you, if Pierce Brosnan's wife lost weight, she would look better.
Okay, let's see. Who's natural at age 50?
Oh, I'm sure there's loads. I think I saw one the other day, but I can't remember a name.
That's
It's
an
popped up in my feed.
I can't
I
think.
I think you can basically pick any natural 50-year-old and it will be true.
Well,
I don't
I
even
don't
think it'll be tough to look at because the lips alone will destroy anyone.
Yeah.
It's
Emily Blunt's not
Blunt,
50,
isn't it?
but she looks good. I don't
Yeah,
think
she
she's
did-
done
I mean,
much
I
work.
do
if at
think
all.
that
She's
she had
42.
that
I'm not sure there'll be that much difference.
Emily
between them.
Blunt had that one thing done that I don't like. I think she had the buccal fat removal, but she still looks okay. But I don't know. She had something done in the Fall Guy. That was called the movie with Ryan Gosling, but so did he. Also, in case anyone's wondering, here's Pierce Brosnan's wife, and I do think like even though she's thicker, she does, in my opinion, look better than Kate Beckinsale.
She is more attractive than what we just looked at. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Oh hell yeah.
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 But I do agree with the people that go she shouldn't have ballooned.
Yeah, like if she was thinner, she probably would still like she'd be considered very good looking. But that's
Well, I mean,
1000% better than the fembot look. She looks
Brosnan
normal.
has kept himself in his shape, and I think she owes him a duty to do the same. Like he's clearly put in more work, unless
He looks good
and
still.
it is possible. He's just like, I do like a chunkier woman. They could be that, and
I
she's
know,
just
right? He
giving
could be
him
like-
what he
He's
wants.
like, feed
could be
me
like-
her.
I know, he's like,
it
"You want
could-
some
it
more
could be
brownies,
that,
baby?
you know.
Have the brownies.
So if she's doing it for him, fair enough.
Yeah, could
Whatever
be.
they do to make each other happy is between them. So
Okay, so Emily Blunt does still look good, but I don't know. I'm just sorry. I'm just pulling up pictures as we're talking about it because why not? But I in Fall Guys, it looked like she had something done. Maybe it was just the cinematography. Then you see what I mean? Like where I think she had something done here.
Oh,
It's that-
oh,
it's
That-
the blush too is not helping that look.
Is there any more here? I see. There's more. No, just that
I
picture.
don't think that blush helps her because it looks like it
could be
accentuates that
shaded
buccal
in.
fat
yeah.
Here,
removal.
let's just go to images.
But yeah, but this is because people for ages. I remember in the 90s, people were going, "Oh, strong cheekbones." It's what everyone wants: strong cheekbones. And I'm like, I don't think any man in the history of the universe has ever commented on anyone's cheekbones. I don't think that's a man thing that they even care about. And there's loads of these weird things where it's like, no, we need to suck all the fat out so you look like you've got really pronounced cheekbones. And it's like, that's a fashion industry thing, which is run by women and gay men.
Oops. Thank you, Dimashini, for the 2. I'm pushing 50. You just got to take care of yourself. Exactly.
Hell yes.
But yeah, Salma Hayek
I think
is
you
an
could
example.
not take care of yourself and still look better than having surgery.
Yeah.
I think you get into that uncanny valleys territory, and so you go beyond looking and age into, you kind of creep me out. There's something wrong there.
You're creeping me out, man.
Well, no,
you're right, though.
There's a weird, like, repulsive, what's happened there kind of thing, which is different than just a person that looks like they've aged. Because what's the worst thing that could happen? People think you look older than you are? Well, if you don't tell them your age, they won't know. You know, who cares?
Exactly. Yeah, Salma Hayek is like an anomaly, though. Like, someone mentioned her, and I agree. Like, she looks gorgeous. And she's just an example of just, she took good care of herself.
Yeah, you can have surgery which looks like Tom Cruise has clearly had surgery, or acid peels or whatever he's supposed to have had, but he still looks normal like Tom Cruise.
See, like, Salma, this is her with less makeup on, and she looks better. Look at her. Like, she looks great. That's what happens when you don't get too much done. I'm sure. I mean, I don't know. Maybe she hasn't had anything done. I'm sure maybe a little bit, but
well, it's the same with what's her name for Michelle Yeoh. Like, she's 62, still looks good at 62. Well, good for a 62-year-old.
I think because Salma Hayek and Michelle Yeoh, they're like the Asian and Spanish descent, like, tend to age better.
For sure. I agree. Genetics matter, yes.
The collagen, the oil secretion.
Well, it might actually be of a benefit. I'm surprised this has never come out as sort of like, as you age, slowly eating more. Because one of the things that does make you look longer is like a plump face.
Plump.
Because as you get older, like, you lose the fat in your cheeks, which is why if you have it removed at your 20, by the time you get 30, you look really old.
Gone.
Because now you've lost even more fat. So if you do gradually eat more as you age, you may keep like a fatter face and just look longer for longer.
And something that
strategic fattening.
I always tell people with like aging parents is, especially when you're not able to move, being a little bit overweight is actually good for you. Because when you stop moving and you're not eating as much, you're not wasting away as much. Just something I've seen in the hospitals.
I mean, yeah.
Thinking.
Well, and you have
storing
more bone...
fat might be good if you stop eating, but surely the thing is to not stop eating.
Well, you definitely don't want to stop eating. But bone fragility, the thinner you are, tends to be increased risk for fractures. And once you fracture a bone, it's like downhill from there when you're like elderly.
There was a guy in a video I was watching, and he said, like, he broke his leg or something doing something. And he said, luckily I didn't snap the tendon, but the tendon stretched and pulled the bone and snapped the bone. I was amazed that tendons could be stronger than bone.
Yeah, well, no, because yes. So think about bone, like when it's too hard, it's easier to break. Like when, chicken bones, right? When you cook it to no end, easy to break into those tiny little pieces. It's just like that. So you got to be a little careful with like the hardness, because you need both elasticity and like the density of being hard of the bone. And I'm trying to.
Yeah, the moment you went there, the moment you went hardness and the density, I was like, the moment she says bone, I'm going to make a joke. I was like,
and I tried not to. It
was like, it's really about the hardness and the density of the bone. I was like,
so we went from dick titties to dick toes to my box and now hard bones.
To be fair, you brought up your box. No one else did.
That's true.
It's true.
Well, no, chat brought up my own box. Up my box.
No, chat brought up your blanket. You brought up your box. No one was even talking about the box.
It was shoebox.
It was your fart blanket. Was what was brought up.
It's the second time I heard Disru say fart.
Why is that? It's like, oh no.
It's just oh
He
no.
said the forbidden words.
I didn't know Brits said that word.
The forbidden F word. Well, I didn't know Americans did. I never know which slang goes cross, because most of our slang seems to be copied in Australia, which is weird because we don't share shows that much or anything. We get way more American television, and yet there's less slang goes across there than it does to Australia.
Yeah, it is funny how different some of the slang is too. Like we'll say something and just really be like, did you really just say that? I'm like, what? It's a
Fanny.
hairstyle. Like, yeah. Oh, all right.
Yeah, if you have a fanny blanket, I'm leaving.
I don't... Are you guys excited about Edgerunners getting a season 2?
Oh, yeah, Edgerunners were really good.
Yeah, no, it feels like, when did the first season air? It feels like it's been a while because I was
years ago.
because I was
Yeah,
late.
long
I was
time.
late to it. It was out for like at least a year when I finally watched it, and I loved it. And now I want to play
loved
the
it.
game and get
It
revenge.
revived Cyberpunk, the interest for it. Like I wanted to play it again afterwards, and they had little Easter eggs of characters, weapons,
Wow.
including the jacket in Cyberpunk, which was fun. What's up?
It was September 2022.
Wow. Okay.
Not
Yeah,
long
I
ago.
was way late to it. I think I watched it
I
last
cried.
year.
That was such
Me
a good
too.
show.
I saw it. That was it was so good. It made me want to play the game. I still haven't played it. I want to and
It
get
was-
revenge.
It was you and everyone else. The player numbers skyrocketed. Because Cyberpunk, it sold loads of copies, but player base wise, it flopped because it had so many bugs. People just stopped playing it almost
I
immediately.
heard that.
And it was only when this came out did it really get popular. Because by then they'd fixed the game, so this took off. Everyone started playing. It was like, oh,
It was
that's
so
actually
smart.
good now.
It was so smart of a marketing. Like it was a disaster, of course, when it came out, but I think that revival really helped it. Now the thing that makes me very apprehensive about this is because it's Netflix, right? Is Netflix doing this one? I'm assuming.
Yeah, but it's with a foreign studio. So the original one, it's not like Western anime. It's not like Netflix making their own. They outsource it to a foreign studio.
So they're not going to do the same thing they did with Arcane. I hope, because that was a disaster.
I think that was Amazon.
I thought
So-
Arcane was Netflix.
Oh, I thought it was Amazon. Maybe
I
it's
could be wrong.
Netflix.
I could be wrong.
I never seen it, but
But I just remembered Mahler being so
it is
disappointed in
Netflix.
the show.
No, it is.
And like season 2 of any Netflix show, as we all know, tends to
Yeah, but
have a
I think-
reputation.
Like
I think
Castlevania,
that-
the first season was great, and then
Squid Game.
yeah, I haven't. Oh yeah, Squid Game should have been
Well-
just one season. I'm still not finished with. Like, is it season 3 or part 2 of season 2? I don't know what you want to call it. Still haven't
I
finished
think
it.
that happens when something gets so popular that Netflix start to get involved themselves rather than messing with the studio. If this is the same studio, though, I'm less worried because there was a thing with the original one. There was a character, like the little girl character. Netflix told them to take it out, and the studio just refused. Like, no, we won't make the show if you do that.
Yes.
So
Fight
it is
back.
a case of they know what they want to make, and if Netflix have a go at them, they're like, no. So as long as it's the same studio, I'm less worried about Netflix involvement.
Okay. I can maybe be okay with that. Now,
Especially as
chat,
it's 3 years after, it doesn't seem like they're in much of a rush to get this out. And so it's not like Squid Game. They're like, we want this. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be the biggest show ever. Where you'd think they'd stick it all in.
Now I want to rewatch Edgerunners now. That made me make a Netrunner character because I never liked hacking. And then they made me like hacking.
I have friends that send me like reels with like the music that was like "Get Away," you know the song. They send it in like, "Stop it! I don't want to feel emotions today. Why are you sending me this?" Every time, like once a week, I have a friend that sends it like, "Don't forget." And I'm like, "Stop."
Never
was-
forget.
It was weird though, because I remember I didn't expect to like the show. It was like Netflix. It was an animation. There's quite a few things where it's like when a streaming service has tried to do an anime thing, just it's awful. Like really, there's some truly tragic. I think is it Crunchyroll? Crunchyroll did their own thing, and it is. I've tried to watch it twice. I get about 20 seconds into it and go, "Oh, this is why I quit," and just leave. It's that awful. And so I expected that for this. I was very pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, it was great. It's like I don't know what took me so long to watch it, but I was kind of glad that I waited because at that time I didn't really have anything I was super into watching, and I just binged this, and I was like,
Hmm.
"It's fantastic! I gotta play the game now. I get
Yep.
it."
And I wonder if they did the Cyberpunk release and it was actually good. No bugs. I say no bugs, meaning a lot less bugs than what they had. And then this came out, would have
Well-
been so much better.
It might be why this is happening, because I'm pretty sure they announced they were doing a Cyberpunk 2. So
Cyberpunk
it might-
2078?
Oh, of course.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, Cyberpunk 2 be a sequel to 2077. It has been announced.
Oh, in development, which makes sense.
Oh, apparently it
I'm-
was announced in 2022, but I heard it announced more recently. Oh, the game entered pre-production in May 2025. That must be what I saw.
Mm,
Well, I'll definitely be watching it. It does make you feel a little bit better that there's other. It's not just Netflix running the show. That there's another studio, whatever you want to call it.
Netflix tends to do that. So the Korean entertainment industry is basically the Netflix entertainment industry. They just make shows and movies and pitch it to Netflix. That's their entire aim. Netflix doesn't make anything themselves. They just get other studios to do it and buy it. So they don't. That's why they have so many hit and misses, because they may get involved in some, or they may use different studios, but they're not always massively involved with the production.
Which is a good thing, because when they are massively involved, it's usually a flop. Or they
Yeah.
just drag it on. Like,
I don't understand why they haven't figured this out yet. Season 2 is always all suck from Netflix.
You got very Italian.
Italian.
I don't know why they
figured
do
it out.
this.
Why they do this to me?
Mamma mia. I actually had a patient who literally said Mamma mia when they felt like a cold table laying down, and I was like, they're
Look,
real.
Yeah, stereotypes are true. This is why they exist. There is a group that did something so often that people recognized it as a trait and it became a meme. That's what stereotypes are. They are shorthand, cultural shorthand.
So I just watched. I was trying to figure it out, and I had to look up like their movie list. But I just watched a movie from Studio Trigger the other day. This Promare. Have you guys heard of it?
Was this the one that people are putting memes on Twitter about?
They might be. It's from 2019, so it's not like new, but I had never seen it. And I like Studio Trigger because of Cyberpunk. So it's here. I'll read the thing here. A terror group calling themselves Mad Burnish have been causing havoc all over the nation after an encounter with Mad Burnish leader. So hold on. Let me see if I can find a better description of it.
Well, I
So-
think you had a better description and then you cancelled it out.
I guess
think
that is a
page
better.
Was it?
That was it. That is better.
Right,
Okay,
synopsis, there you
so here we go. So 30 years ago, a new race of flame-wielding mutants suddenly appeared, destroying a large portion of humanity. These so-called Burnish have continued to appear at random, leaving a trail of death and destruction in their wake. The autonomous Republic of Promopolis is a thriving nation thanks to the incredible efforts of their leader, Cray Foresight. Against the Burnish, a team of firefighters known as the Burning Rescue is tasked with stopping these horrifying monsters using the most performant technology available thanks to their incredible mechanic, Lucia Flex. So without
This is
spoiling
every
anymore,
anime
it's-
description in the history of the universe. This is why when it comes to anime, I look at it, I'll give that a try, and I just watch an episode.
and then you end up just liking it.
I read that and my brain just went, I'm going to top myself. And I tuned it out like halfway through the second paragraph.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. If you're into this kind of thing, I would say definitely check it out. I originally watched it because it was Studio Trigger, and I like how their animation looked. But the story itself was pretty good. It had a nice little twist. That's why I didn't continue reading, because it kind of tells you not too much about it. But I think I watched it on Max. Where the heck did I watch it? I think it was Max.
It said Max.
It
on
said
your-
Max.
when
Yeah,
you
that's where I
Googled
watched
it.
it then. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. So yeah, I liked it. If you like Studio Trigger, I would say check it out. I liked it.
I wish I had more time in the world to watch everything I wanted.
I know my list. I always go add to the list, and people are like, "Sure, Jan. Sure, you're gonna
Mhm.
watch." I'm like, "I will someday."
The list exists. The time doesn't. Okay.
Well, I do it when I'm going to bed. So until I fall asleep is that time, which I have every day. And then the next day involves me trying to work out where I fell asleep in the previous episode. That's the main problem. It's like, oh, I remember this bit. Let's carry on
X-ray
from
makes
here.
it 15 minutes into everything.
The problem is, I need to be in the mood to read. Okay? I don't like watching dubbed. I like sub.
I only watch dubbed.
So there, it makes it a little easier watching it dubbed. So and then sub just complicated. Ugh. But I enjoy it that much better. But whatever.
There is something about the language. I remember switching over what? No, it wasn't Overwatch. Marvel Rivals to the Korean or Japanese, whatever it was. Like, I am Groot, and it's just they're so much more enthusiastic.
Oh my
with
god!
their rivals.
Yeah.
Japanese sounds so much better for both male and female voices.
There was
It's so girly
what was
for the
it?
females, and
It's so
like, just
manly for a
mass-
male.
Yeah.
There was a trailer for, and it's only because I watched it in like the original language I want to watch it. Samurai Batman. Just watching the trailer
watched
from
it.
that, and it's just like the Joker in Japanese is just insane with the voice actor. You hear like their take on what the Joker should sound like. I mean, the trailer looked weird enough to be interesting, so I always remembered it.
Yeah, the DC animated shows on HBO Max, a lot of them are actually pretty interesting. I like at least like the early 2000s stuff that they put out, because it does get some of
I
it
think
gets a
this
bit
was-
weird with the newer stuff.
I think this was fairly, whether it was like 2019 or 2022 or something like that. I think it was years
I watched
ago
it.
rather than less.
Yeah, I mean, some of it's still okay, but I just know, like, if you want to compare it to like the new Harley Quinn show where they turn Batman and Superman into
Yeah.
blubbering fools, and like that's
Yep.
stupid stuff, like the female power, and like it's all about
but
Harley and
that's
Ivy being gay
Western.
together. It's stupid.
I kind of have a baseline with Western entertainment that I think it's going to be woke and crap.
You're just ready for it.
I'm willing
I
to give
expect it.
yeah, I'm willing to give like the Japanese stuff a bit more leeway and benefit of the doubt to watch it. So if they were like, oh, if a Western studio we're going to make like Samurai Batman, like, this is going to be awful. But when I know it's made by a foreign country, we're like, okay, maybe it'll be good. I'll try.
Yeah, I think it's a matter of, and this is something I, as a previous normie, have seen is trends. When you see these trends of bad anime after bad anime after bad anime, you're just gonna just give that blanket statement to everything, and that's why we're seeing a turn of normies from just regular entertainment. So I have had more luck with foreign entertainment and being surprised. So I will give it a bigger chance than Western entertainment always.
Well, it's like your Korean TV shows. And this used to be the same with Western entertainment. So a Korean TV show, if it's average, it's still watchable. Like you can still, you don't regret your time even with a 5. Whereas Western entertainment, the average is, this is awful. This is like really bad. And I regret ever paying or wasting my time to see it. And so it's almost on a different grading scale. Because I think if you do watch enough crap stuff, it will inevitably damage. You'll start lowering your standards, just because of what you're comparing it against. And it is amazing that there are people now who will be, like 17 and 18 and stuff. And you look back at the movies that have released in their lifetime, you do not have like a good bar to judge against. If you haven't been watching previous stuff, you will have quite low standards.
It's true.
It is.
I want to have
interesting,
high
actually.
standards.
Yeah, but imagine if we don't, right? So imagine if the companies just keep burning money for another 10, 15 years. So you're starving 18-year-olds, which have only lived in the current Marvel generation, and they've only seen the bad Marvel movies.
Ugh,
That
sucks for
will
them.
be what they compare against. And I do kind of wonder is there a point where everyone just thinks this is what a movie is, and so that's what they deem as good because it's the only frame of reference they have? Because I guarantee you a lot of people aren't watching, because I wouldn't have ages. I wouldn't be watching Korean TV show if Western entertainment was good. There is like a barrier there.
Yeah, no, you're right there, because a lot of like people that didn't watch like anime and Korean shows, like I don't know, like 5-10 years ago, they're very into it now because they got so
That was me.
yeah.
I started
it's-
watching foreign entertainment with what was it? Alice in Borderland season 2 release. So that popped up. So I watched season 1, liked it so much, and
It's
I think
so
I
good.
think I'd seen Death Note before. I think I'd seen Death Note and Code Geass before, but then that was what made me start watching loads of stuff.
I want to say, so I grew up watching like Dragon Ball Z. So that was my introduction to anime. But as an adult, I want to say the first anime that really got me into watching animes was Nana, and you can't find that anywhere. It was such
Never
a
even
good.
heard of it.
It was really good. Like I thought that it was going to be like a chick flick, but I had guy friends that liked it too, and it wasn't.
How's
Like
it spelled?
Nana. Let me see if I can find it. I think it was
All right,
on
you talk
Netflix.
about it. I'll find it.
Yeah.
Interesting. So what's it about?
So it's let's see. I actually want to. Is it on Nana or is it on Nana? Is it on Netflix again? I don't think so. So
it was listed on Google as it was, but it's not for me. But it might be internationally.
Oh, so
you talk about it. Also.
Okay, so basically it's two women who have the same name, Nana, and they meet and there's
it can be
it's a
streamed on Hulu in the US according to AI.
Okay, so it's a slice of life. It's kind of hard to explain it because it's like it just follows the life of these two women who end up having the same name. One's a big rock star, and the other's like a very timid, just like people pleaser. I guess you could say that. And it is hard to explain it. But here, let me see if I can find like a little brief summary for you guys because it's been so long since I watched it. I actually would love
Hulu
to.
says although they come from completely different backgrounds, Nana Komatsu and Nana Ozaki meet and become best friends in a whirlwind world of love, music, fashion, gossip, and all-night parties. It sounds incredibly feminine.
Yeah, well, no, it sounds that way, but it's like
sounds like something I'd like.
It sounds like
They
my
would like
idea
it.
of a living hell.
Ah.
Yeah, so it's like they become unlikely roommates. It's if you like slice of life. It's 100% a slice of life anime. So I would say even if you're a guy, like check it out. You might be like, okay, like I can get into this because it just follows their story. But yeah, it does kind of sound like a bit of a chick flick. I really enjoyed it. I've been trying to find like really good art about it because I loved the animation on it.
I have a question.
What?
So, this is the thumbnail to one of the episodes.
Oh my gosh, she looks like a coke addict.
That's not.
And you're like, I want really good art from this series.
No.
Like, this is one of the episode thumbnails on Hulu.
No. Here, this is what. Let me pull it up. This is what the animation looks like in it. Hold on.
She looks like a
It's not a
crackhead.
good representation, I suppose.
No, this right here is it.
Well, I've been
That's a
watching.
lot different than that
It's a lot
thumbnail.
different.
I've been watching ReZero, and there is a character in that just ends every sentence with "I suppose," and I immediately had flashbacks.
I
Like,
suppose.
It's not a bad representation, I suppose. You can do that, I suppose.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, I'm gonna catch up on some supers real quick before we fall behind.
This is a forever issue with us because we talk too much.
It's okay. The chat loves it.
Doing it at the
Andrew-
end of each topic seems to be okay, though, because then we know what they're
yeah, that's why I
to.
try to do it like that so that I'm not like jumping in the middle of a topic and then like getting supers or like doing
see
like
that
3
chat?
topics.
She kind of blamed us then. That's what I try to do. But
I
you
try.
two,
This room
you're always
keeps
waffling on to the
talking.
next thing.
Waffling every day. I'm waffling.
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh no, you don't know what you just said.
That was a weird trend dance. That was. It was always one person would stand there, and they got and they just
Oh,
start spinning
hey, I'm
around the room
shuffling.
in like weird angles, like a pinball machine.
Oh, Andrew Matthews, thank you for being a member for 14 months. It's a good job. It's a good job. It was sent to a man. If a woman opened a shoebox and it had a blanket in it, she would be so angry.
Oh, these were supposed to have high heels.
Well,
High heels are there too. No, I'm kidding. I need more alcohol.
ready
You
for
think that-
2.
What happened there is she made a comment, regretted it, then realized she needed more to forget she'd said it.
Oh,
Let me
by the
forget what
way,
just happened.
cheers, George. Howard from Cosmic Summit had this whiskey, and it is so
Ooh.
freaking good. Whistle Pig.
Never even heard of
Frickin'
it.
is
We
Never heard of
don't
it
have that
either.
here.
It is from. Oh, it's American. That's probably why.
I'll have to try it.
If you like whiskey,
I do
And pigs.
from time to time. Well, I like
Mm.
bacon.
yes, me too.
Close
I
enough.
love bacon. Close enough.
I'm just going to keep my little pet bacon.
Helen Mirren proved you could age and be sexy.
The thing, when the issue is when people, because yes, you can be attractive at 40. You can't be as attractive at 40 as you were at 20, and that is the problem. And I think that Hollywood should be full of the most, for both men and women, the most attractive people you can possibly find. All of Hollywood should have the best people you can possibly get in every position. And so that means if you want to be an attractive character, you are going to be in your early 20s. And Hollywood used to know this. Everybody knows this. There's just some people in denial, because essentially you've got older and find older people more attractive than you used to when you were younger. Beauty is still objective. A 22-year-old is still more attractive than a 42-year-old. This is just happens. Of course, this attractive 42-year-old.
I mean, yes, objective beauty is there. I always say Amber Heard, beautiful, subjectively ugly.
Kate Beckinsale, she was attractive in Underworld. I mean,
she was gorgeous. Even in Click, wasn't Click like a few years after Underworld, the one she did with Adam Sandler? That was like, I mean, I think that was even a while ago. But
age is just meant to represent your fertility, and you get less attractive as your fertility wanes as a sign that you're less fertile. It's a biological thing, and we just got to now go around pretending that nobody changes. There's absolute. If nobody changes, why do you have surgery? If you don't get less attractive as you age, why are you having surgery to remain 20? It's so wild to me. It's what I was talking about before, like last week. The thing I hate most about society is that you have to lie to people to preserve their own feelings. You can't just live in the truth. And everyone starts coming up with excuses about, oh no, why did this? It's like, you know I'm right. I don't know why people argue.
Subjectivity versus objectivity.
It isn't subjective. This is an evolution from the beginning of time has led to this.
I agree. I agree in a lot of ways. And I think that I will say this. Women have fallen for very not so good looking men. I say that a lot of comedians can make girls' pants drop down just by being funny.
It doesn't even have anything to do with like sleeping with people, though. It's just attractiveness. Your features get worse as you age. Because otherwise, it would be really horrific. Because if like a 45-year-old was attractive as a 24-year-old, people would breed more with the 45-year-old when the 45-year-old can't breed and she can't have kids. And so, but she can't have kids. So you would have an evolutionary disadvantage. You get less attractive deliberately. It's a sign that no, that's the one you should be going after to breed with. Like, all of this is done deliberately, but no, to protect people's feelings. I don't really care about the feelings of a Hollywood 45-year-old. By that point, she's already done loads of movie roles. She's a multi-millionaire. She'll be fine. If anything...
Stop talking about ScarJo now, okay?
Well, no, my favorite comments about Jurassic Park were, well, you know, it's nice often to make one of the dinosaurs the main character.
Oh my God.
But it is a case that she is actually blocking the job of a far more attractive, better suited to the role 20-year-old, just because nobody wants to tell her that you have aged out of the TNA role at this point. And that movie would make more with more attractive,
but there was no
younger
TNA in it.
Main actress. Yes, exactly, because she's 40. Nobody wants to see her tucking them in her sock.
She could.
No, a 22-year-old would be more attractive than Scarlett Johansson.
No, but she also did not do the TNA portion of the possible
because she's
TNA.
40. Where if you got a 22-year-old, that would be a draw. That would be a draw for the movie.
Salma Hayek looks great.
Like, just because something didn't happen didn't mean that the movie wouldn't be better if it did. And like, when was the last movie where a random main leading actress just got a top off for no reason whatsoever? That used to be, if you go back and watch movies from the 90s, that was a lot of movies. Random topless scene. In Jurassic Park, she would have fallen in some mud and had to shower under a waterfall for absolutely no reason whatsoever.
Yeah.
I would need a really huge, humongous check to even do that. But then again, that's me.
But in Hollywood, you'd get that.
I suppose.
And it would launch your career for the next few years until whatever he is, the guy from Titanic, I can never remember his name. Once you age
Leonardo
past
DiCaprio?
Once you age past Leonardo DiCaprio,
Actually knows who that
then you
is.
get replaced by someone that was more attractive. And there's just an ever-going... And the thing is, this is needed for Hollywood. You need new actors and actresses to replace the other ones. And yes, it's always been true in Hollywood. Men have had a longer window than women But now we've ended up with 60-year-old action heroes and 40-year-old women that think they're still 20-year-olds. Because all of them want to block the younger generation, which are better at the job.
Yeah.
I'll let the 20-year-olds show their boobies.
Boom buzz.
Yeah, I'm good.
This is the old. At no point did I go, you need to go topless in Hollywood. This
no,
is just
no,
other
no.
like random people in Hollywood that want the Hollywood careers.
I think that if you want to show your boobies, show your boobies. If you don't, want
If
to
you're
show
in
your boobies,
Hollywood-
don't show your boobies.
You basically have to.
Yeah, and that's why another. Well, I mean, talent aside.
Well, in the UK, we actually used to have like a coming of age thing where one of the main ways that the women would advance into like real acting, they would generally start as children's TV presenters. And then to get taken seriously in the older way of acting, they would do page 3 to go, well, I can't be a children's TV presenter anymore. And then they'd move
Gotta
into
show
proper
them
acting.
titties.
So they kind of graduated in the press.
I had to look this up. Sorry. The jabroni for 2 says Lexa Doig. Is that a Doge? I don't know how to pronounce that. Still looks good in her 50s. I don't know who that is.
I mean, she might do. How did she look in her 20s?
Can you share a photo?
yeah, I just looked her up.
I would like to see what she look like.
She's
Oh,
pretty.
I remember her. She's been around for ages.
I don't know what she
What
did.
was this? This wasn't the Dark Matter show, was it? What show was this?
No, that was Andromeda. She was the AI.
Okay. Okay.
Oh,
Never seen it.
hello. Careful scrolling,
sorry.
girl. By the way.
No,
Well, it's Google.
wa-
It's Google.
No, she,
It'll be okay.
she was. It doesn't matter. You can in Google depending on what your
there you
search
I have a
settings are.
filter
I
on,
would just be
though.
careful. Oh, okay.
Well, sometimes it doesn't know. But in that, I know
Oh.
that scene. I think that was also Andromeda. I think it's fine.
Yeah,
I think it was shot. I think that is the limit of the shot. It was done that way
She's
deliberately.
gorge. What's her background? I don't even know.
Okay, let's
Doig? What does that mean?
She's been around. She's been around in entertainment for my life.
So this is her. Well, put in 2025. I'm guessing this is probably
Probably a good
right here. Yeah, she looks good for
yeah.
age.
Yeah, but when
gracefully.
she's younger, you would compare her to Andromeda, and she's more attractive in Andromeda than there. This is such a weird, millions of years of evolution has deliberately designed you to age, and now we're supposed everyone gets better when they age. That's cope. Everyone knows it's cope.
Some, I would say, for men anyway, some men do look better when they get older.
Agreed.
Men are slightly different because
They're different because they can mate
attractiveness-
forever. Women can't. So,
well, no, it's attractive. No,
I know that's
because
not why, but
even
I'm
with
just-
men, mutation builds up, and so your genes do get worse, and what you produce gets worse over time. But attractiveness it's also tied into like resources and status, and whereas women, it's just how you look.
Carlos Lima for 5. What happened to Kate Beckinsale? She was beautiful in Underworld. Now
was
she looks
20.
horrible. Celebrities need to stop getting unnecessary surgeries.
Decades. It's
Yeah,
been
it's been
decades.
decades,
It's
but
been
she
decades, yeah.
definitely made herself look worse though from the surgeries. Like,
Yeah, but she made herself look worse because she was trying to recapture what she was like in her 20s. It
Yeah.
was a desperate need to stay young. Whereas if she just accepted what she looked like, she would look way better.
Guess what? Don't go in the sun because she's so like her skin looks so leathery just because she is tanned so much. Okay.
I love how everything you've just said is worse than anything I've said in the last 20 minutes.
Well, look at the skin on her
You're like,
neck
she looks like a
versus her face.
handbag.
Her face actually looks like decent in the sense that she had work, but the fact that you tan will make your skin look way like. Have you seen the truckers, like the unilateral aging of their face?
No, that makes sense because they're in a car all the time.
Yes. So they're I forgot what the actual name of the thing is, but it's crazy how one-sided it is, and that's because of the sun. So if you want to stay young, stay out of the sun. It's a very old school thing. The idea of staying out of the sun means that you're richer because you're not working on the farms, but we have twisted it around in American culture where tanning means status.
Tanning is so weird. There's so many attractiveness signals that I find really weird because they changed in my lifetime.
Mhm.
And I do think some of them are imported from other. I think the internet did it. So each country would have their own localized set of attractiveness factors, and then with the internet, people started to see people from other countries and then that got exported. And that's my theory about why like fat asses became big in the UK.
Because of Brazil.
Well, I do think it's in foreign countries that have like wider hips and bigger asses, and that just took off. Whereas in the 90s it wasn't like that, and I remember it changing. And now I was like, no, it's like we've always been at war with Eurasia. It's like, no, we haven't, and I'm going insane.
The 90s was definitely about the boobs. If you think about it, like Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, those were like a lot of my icons that I grew up with. Like they did not have the big butts, but they had the big boobs.
It changed with J-Lo. J-Lo was the first singer I can remember where everyone kept talking about her ass. And if you look at her ass compared to what people talk about now, like she has it.
It's small.
People go, J-Lo's got a tiny flat ass, and because it's got so much more extreme than at the time.
The Kardashians, realistically, ever since they came on the market, I think that the BBLs became popularized.
That is so weird to me.
Yeah, well, it is weird, but it's also true. And we got big balloon butts and people going to strange countries and getting sick because they don't pay for good surgery. It's crazy.
There was a woman in Big Brother who had implants in her ass and she could turn them around. She was doing it on camera, actually flipping them. So one side was curved, one side was flat, and she could turn it.
As someone who has touched a lot of implants, you could probably do that depending on where it sits.
That's so strange to me. I always thought they'd be like fixed or tied there or something.
No. So even just boobs in itself. So you can have it over the muscle or under the muscle. Under the muscle, you can't flip it as easily. But over the muscle, depending how big it is, you can definitely manipulate it around. And I do that for mammograms, okay?
She touches boobs professionally.
Yes, exactly. I wear gloves though. But you can manipulate it around and push it around how you need. So it is insane how resilient and how mobile some of these are. Now I have seen implants that have
well, I suppose
moved.
Mobile boobs could be advantage.
Mobile boobs?
Yeah, they like move around a lot. It's like you never want them to develop independent thought because they might get in a fight.
Some girls' boobs might look like that depending on how they walk. It looks like
they're pointing in different directions. Like, no, we've fallen out today.
Or like in Scary Movie. In Scary Movie when he stabs her and the implant comes out. He's like, ugh.
Yeah, that was like when she runs through the watering the garden, and it like goes to slow-mo, and she's like, yeah.
And he's like, he stops for a second.
Scary Movie stuff were good when it started. I don't think I've watched the later ones, but the first ones were good.
Well, the first one is the ultimate best one. The second one's like good, third one's good, but it's not as good as the first ever. So
I think it's just because with any kind of parody stuff, you get your best ideas and your reason for making the movie out in the first movie, and then everyone after that, you're kind of looking for stuff to take the mick out of, and so you just start running out.
You know what? We need a new scary movie. We need a parody of our like clown world right now.
They're making one. I thought.
Oh, really?
I heard something. But I will say Scary Movie 2 was actually my favorite out of all of them. I just really thought that one was funny. That was before they completely ran out. Like third one was okay, but the first two were the ones that were like, it was still kind of like more fresh and new.
I don't think that people inside Hollywood can take the piss out of Hollywood because I think they'd lose too much status. I think they'd be too scared of offending people that they know. And this is one of the reasons where it's like with actors, you bring in younger people. I'm not against bringing in like younger screenwriters and stuff, even if it's just for like ideas. But you need almost like a constant supply of new blood because they have nothing to lose and everything to prove, and so they will take the piss out of everything they've seen. And if anything, you need in like in Hollywood, you need a new generation which is not tied to all these other people, and you need to be willing to not take offense at what they say. That's the only thing.
A great example of that is Shane Gillis. You guys know who that is, right?
Yep.
I think he's hilarious. I like his show Tires and everything. He's so funny, but he's not afraid to say what's on his mind. And he got the job at Saturday Night Live, and then he got canceled right before he was able to join. And that was a huge mistake that they made because
he went cancel people in comedy for jokes.
Exactly. Now, but the thing is, they canceled him, right? They fired him. And then he went on to make his own sketch comedy show that did fantastic. And then they eventually had him come on and host it. And the only good recent Saturday Night Lives have been ones where they brought him on to host and do some sketches. It's
the truth is the best jokes are the one everyone goes, oh, because they laugh first. They laugh and they go, oh, that's amazing. Oh, no, I shouldn't have laughed at that one. But they laughed because laughing is a reflex. You can't control it. And then, so it's your conscious brain going, I shouldn't have laughed at that one. That'll hurt me socially. But you laugh in the moment, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Like, and this is why our press have done it to people, where they've taken a joke and they read it out. And they go, so did you say? And they just read it out in a monotone thing, the joke. And it strips it of all meaning, context, intention, and you just get the word. It sounds awful, but you can't do that with comedy. It is a separate exception thing. And Hollywood needs that. They need, like, essentially a section of edgy boys, and they're just like, they need the court jester who's allowed to say anything, who can't be fired.
With no repercussions.
And you just let them run. And that's what you need, the Ricky Gervais at the Golden Globes who can say anything and get away with it. That's what you need.
You're right.
I miss when comedy was not so careful.
Yeah, you can't be funny if you're being careful. You can't. If you're afraid to. The thing is, comedians, a true comedian, is not afraid to offend anybody. You're picking fun at everybody, not just like one group in particular, or one gender, whatever. Like a true comedian will just make fun of everybody.
It's like, I know I'm biased, but I did for most of my life think that British comedy was the best in the world, and then it died. And it died maybe 10 or 15 years ago. And I think I could even, whatever date Frankie Boyle got fired from Mock the Week is when I consider it like it dying, because he was the last like edgy comedian, and then nobody else dared say anything. And the weird thing is, it's the same comedians that were around then, and they're just not funny anymore because they can't be. So you know they have the talent to, because they used to be really good.
They're too careful because they're scared of getting canceled.
Yeah, they can basically just do politics jokes. That's all they can do now. And in fact, the only comedies that I think are around now that are still funny are 8 out of 10 Cats and Taskmaster. And that's just because they're not really involved with everyday culture at all. That one is just Countdown, and they just make jokes, and the other is just weird puzzles. And so both of them are really safe areas of comedy.
Yeah, you can't be safe in comedy. It doesn't work that way.
I mean, I guess you have like Charlie Chaplin and everything used to do safe comedy. There is like safe topics. It's just when you do stand up, well, now anything can happen, and you're going to be talking to loads of people, and you're going to be talking to loads of identities. And so that, I don't think you can have safe stand up, but you can have safe comedy shows which are based around a niche. And like anyone who wants to be entertained, just Google, YouTube Taskmaster. You'll just laugh for hours. There's loads of episodes on YouTube.
I wonder. Okay, I've never shared anything with Firefox, so this might actually not work very well.
See if you have issues like I did.
This clip got sent to me, and I thought this was hilarious because it's kind of true. Okay, allow. How do I allow? Select the screen.
See,
Jesus.
I mean, Firefox is weird.
It is so weird.
Well,
if you want to put it in a private chat, I can share it.
The issue is nearly every other browser is based on Chromium, and Firefox is its own. So you're using like a unique system that no one else really bothers with. But if you use like Brave, Chrome, Internet Explorer, Microsoft Edge, I had to change the name for no reason whatsoever.
I've never seen this before. Oh, now I know why you don't like sharing on Firefox.
Yeah, here, let me.
There's all these jokes about how
I don't hear it. What the heck? Oh,
I hear it.
Like, oh,
you can hear it. Okay.
Yeah.
Black guy, Pakistani, and a Jew walk into a bar. All that stuff. And nowadays, it's all very confusing. Now it's like, a woman of color, a genderqueer vegan, a neurodivergent power boss, walk into a halal. We'll have a lovely time together. I mean, what the fuck? Where's the drama? Where's the jeopardy?
No, but the thing is,
I don't get it.
Well, that's the entire point. The good thing about that joke was how weird it was, and how I wish I saw a YouTube video so many years ago, and I've tried to find it so many times since, and it was about the different pillars of comedy, and I think it said it used The Simpsons as an example, I think, and there was 5 pillars. One was like recognizability, one was absurdity, one was like a twist and everything, and it said essentially 2 of them are funny, 3 of them is a good joke. By the time you get to 5, it's like a once in a generation kind of every single person finds it hilarious. And it was recognizable, it was absurd, and it was like the dared to actually say all the weird things. And part of comedy is just saying the thing that everybody else is thinking, but nobody else dares say. And so there's always a kind of a danger, a risk to being the
Pushing
comedian.
the boundaries.
Yeah, but if you will immediately be cancelled, nobody will push that boundary. And so now nobody can make a joke because you have to be there at all times. One of the pillars. And if you're just safe, you now remove that joke from a great joke to, okay. Just because he daren't push it as much. It was like, what was one of Jimmy Carr's jokes? He had two different versions of it, because one he said in front of the Queen, so he had to tone it down. And he said he always had a guy that toned his jokes down if he thought they were a bit far. But one of them was, my friend's girlfriend has a theory that the way to a man's heart is to nibble on his ears for hours and hours. I think it's bollocks.
Well,
This is a case of where you'll get it. But the other one was, the one in front of the screen is, I think it's nuts. And it's just way toned down from just bollocks. There was another one, and it was, I don't know, it was some kind of cancer joke. And he changed it from cancer to a different disease just to tone it down because his mate said that's too far. And it's like, yeah, but would it have been funnier? And that's where they get. And you negotiate down the comedy over time because, we constantly can't defend this group and this group and this group and this group. And you negotiate yourself out the entire window.
It sounds like politics, trying to appeal to the biggest group of people.
yep.
I don't think it's... Politics drives it, but I think it's they're scared of losing their job. So Frankie Boyle got fired because he made a joke about an Olympic swimmer because he said she looks like someone who's been looking at herself in the back of a spoon. And it's funny because it's true. That's why everybody laughed.
Oh my god!
But he got cancelled for it. And it took him years, and he came back as the most woke lunatic you've ever seen in your entire life. Because it was the only way he'd get back into the system. And he's not funny anymore.
That's a sad day. Unfortunately.
Not to be confused with Susan Boyle, who's a fat opera singer.
I think you brought her up before. That's the first time you brought up Susan Boyle on the
Well,
stream.
Susan Boyle's in a newspaper headline, and I can't remember what the hashtag was, but it was hilarious.
Lucifer the Doberman for Canadian too. Monica Bellucci for the win. She got better with age. She's very good looking. Monica Bellucci's gorgeous.
Yes, she
Okay,
is.
so this was in a national newspaper. It may take me a second to share it. But this is why I keep bringing up Susan Boyle. She released an album, right? And so she came up with a hashtag. She wants to be down with the kids on social media. Those kids use hashtags, don't they?
That never ends well.
It was
No.
Susan Sauce Anal Bum Party. Where was that?
What is this supposed to be? Susan album
Susan
party.
album party.
Oh no!
Oh, that'll make her hip with the
Sus anal
kids.
bum party.
You're
Oh
getting
my
mean.
god!
the top 5 Twitter hashtag disasters. Sauce Anal Bum Party. Susan album party.
You know,
No.
you never want to go to any of those types of parties. I think,
Well,
right?
This is
That
why
might be
I
a
think
Diddy
of
party.
Susan Boyle, because I
Oh,
remember
baby.
that.
Oh
I
my
wonder what the other
gosh.
ones are.
Oh my
McD
God.
stories.
Careful.
Well, I mean, it's in the Guardian. How bad could it be?
Oh yeah.
Hashtag backfired when instead of offering good news stories on the fast food chain, users began flooding the tag with claims of fingernails in burgers and other
Oh my
nasties.
Oh, so that was just like not the words, just that the hashtag back.
Yeah, that was just people it's PR disasters. So Waitrose Reasons began to ask shoppers to complete a sentence. I shop at Waitrose because... Oh, don't do that. It's like when they asked people to name a ship and they called it Boaty McBoatface. And it won.
Yeah, that was bad. I remember that. PR
Should
Yeah, I
have
would never do
expected
that.
a tirade of jokes about the Pros image. Though many have said the way to Waitrose responded to the campaign turned it from a disaster to a success.
Qantas luxury.
They opened their Qantas luxury hashtag at the time that they stranded thousands of passengers.
Oh, wait, what? This wasn't as bad as the poop cruise, was it? I
keep
watched
hearing
that
about the poop
train wreck
cruise.
episode.
I saw a YouTube video got recommended to me about that, but I don't know what it's about.
Oh, it happened years ago where the boat completely died of power, and let's just say not
Yep.
having working toilets is a detriment.
Not on a
Two.
cruise. You're surrounded by ocean. Just go over the side.
Well, you say that, but like females can fall into the water, and then it wasn't even the fact
There's
of
an
that.
Everything has an upside.
When the boat was pulled by tugboats to wherever they were going, Mobile, Alabama, Texas, or something like that, there was
That's what
tilting.
I mean about you've got to be offensive to be funny.
No. There was tilting, and
She said,
because
"No,
the
no."
electronics of the toilets weren't on, things started to spill out of the toilet.
Yeah, the toilet started backing up.
They should have just dumped it in the ocean.
They can't.
This
There's
was,
no
like,
way for them to
again.
dump it. There was no exit for it. It
Find
was
out
just
who paid the cheapest tickets, give them a bucket, and tell them to go down there.
well. There's literal thousands of
This was
people
like, make
who
the
were
peasants take
stranded
care of it.
on a cruise for
England
8
has a class
days.
system for a reason. Get down there, you serfs.
Okay, Disbrew, I think you should watch the train wreck episode on Netflix about the poop cruise just to see what it's about. There are ways around
would've
it, but then
fixed
there
it.
were other ways not around it.
No, they just weren't willing to consider my solutions. That's the problem.
Well, maybe. And honestly, this makes me never want to go on a cruise ever again. Not that I have been on one in the last 10, 15 years, but
I've never
whew,
been.
just in case. You know, it's kind of scarier than a plane because at least it's a quick death.
Oh no, you
never
get
been
quite
on
a
a
quick death
cruise.
if you sink. You'll freeze to death in the ocean about like 90 seconds.
Oh, absolutely. Or starvation
No, you won't survive to starvation. Starvation takes 3 weeks.
with water. I know. I
Well,
know.
Dehydration's 3 days, but you would freeze to death in 90 seconds. So you'll
This
be
was
fine.
also in like the Mediterranean, so I highly doubt they would have frozen.
It's also the ocean. The ocean is not warm, no matter where you go.
No, it's not. But
No.
anyways, I will never ever go on a cruise in the next little time in the future.
I've
so
only been on ferries, not
ferries are
cruises, so-
fine because you can get rescued more easily. But I think with thousands of people on a boat,
Oh yeah, you're
it's
a
not
long
an
way
easy
from anywhere.
task.
Although they do
Mm.
tend to hug like around places.
Yeah, I've heard.
Poop cruise. They were made to poop in bags and leave them in the corridors.
Yeah.
Go
ugh.
overboard, you cretins! Don't do it in a bag. It is way better just to hang your ass over the side.
On that note,
You
Spider
need to
Finger,
just shake-
thank you.
The only
Just
problem with
passing
that boat was there wasn't enough shame.
Sorry, this is like the perfect super chat to bring up. Now, Spider Finger for 199, just passing through. Excuse me, jacuzzi.
It's
Don't do it in a
jacuzzi.
Don't do it in a jacuzzi.
Definitely don't do it.
No.
Definitely
saw-
leave the place to do it in a jacuzzi.
I saw a poll on Twitter about like where is it okay to pee, and like one of them was
in the
um,
toilet.
well, yes, definitely. One of them was like, you know, hot tub / pool, and then one of them was like lakes and oceans, and none
No.
of those at all. And I know
No.
so many people that would just do it in possibly all of them, but definitely lakes and oceans.
No, we have bottles for a reason. There's no reason there is no reason that a man has to pee anywhere except like now if you're in a forest, fair enough, but if you're in water, you can go to the side and you'll have a bottle with you.
I don't know. I don't have a penis, so I don't know what to do about that. I just,
But
you know,
it's,
go
I
to the
mean,
bathroom.
obviously it's easy. I mean, it's,
Wait, I say oceans weird?
Oceans?
yeah, I never noticed until you just said it.
Oceans.
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 Yeah,
Say
you
it
say
as well.
you say oceans.
Yeah, I know. I
Not
pronounce
ocean.
some weird
I say
vowel
ocean.
in
You say ocean.
oceans.
You add an extra like syllable.
Oceans. Oh yeah, I do.
Yeah. Yeah. See, ocean or oceans.
Oceans. Oh, I do.
Yeah, oceans.
Big
Where we just go,
oceans.
we just go ocean.
Ocean.
We'll find out
Anyways,
more.
Would you like to know more?
Definitely not a gator for 5. Tetanus can cause your muscles to snap your own bones. Nice cheekbones, Disparu. Sinners will have a Black
I sucked them
American
in just for you.
Sign Language version. He's voguing just for you. Definitely not a gator. Thank you for the 5. Ian, thank you for another
What was-
50 pounds.
You go
Stereotypes.
past the you go past
What?
the super chats too fast. There was a thing at the start of that sort of super chat that I can't remember even what it was. What I was trying to read it.
Oh, sorry, I went too fast. Ian, thank you
I
for
can't
another
even remember
50.
what the start of it said. That's my problem.
It was hold on. I'll get to it's hard. I shouldn't unstar it, but I try to like keep them.
There was just a list in like the YouTube backend that does all of them in a line.
Do you know how to get there, Wicked?
Yeah, hold on.
Okay, I can read this in the meantime.
Yeah.
Ian so forth, thank you for the 50 British pounds. Stereotypes are true. I've been to Italy enough to know they say "Mamma mia," and I've been to England enough to know they love the dictos.
And I know people
Wow.
that have been to Scotland and you're all drunken crackheads.
I would like to go to Scotland one day. It sounds nice.
I mean, they'll do anything for 10 quid.
No, I don't want to do the 10 quid thing.
You want a surf to go and clean out your toilets on a cruise? The Scots have got you. They'll do anything.
No, I mean, maybe a manicure and pedicure. I'll go with that.
I don't think they'd have the skills. They'd try. They'd be willing to try.
What about good
So-
food? Is there good food in Scotland?
Well, the Scottish tend to take other people's things and then just say it's Scottish. So they take like eggs,
Chinese food.
cover it in breadcrumbs and say it's a Scotch egg. They take whiskey and then it's just Scotch whiskey, like magically. They'll take a Mars bar and just deep fry it for you. It's a Scotch
I've
Mars
never
bar.
had a deep fried Mars bar. I'm willing to try.
There are fish
Same.
and chip shops now. Given the changes, I don't know whether they still exist, but they used to exist. Fish and chip shops who would just deep fry anything you brought in.
Ah.
So you
So
can bring like Wicked
definitely-
in, they'll just dunk her.
Definitely not a gator. The beginning of their super chat says tetanus can cause your muscles to snap your own bones.
Oh, that was it. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like, that's what I was surprised by, the fact that muscles are stronger than bone. Because I remember with weightlifting, people said that muscle move bones and bones lift weight. So I always thought that bones were stronger than muscle, and it surprised me when this guy said his tendons were enough to snap his bone.
I think the tensile strength of anything, you do think that harder means stronger, but that's not necessarily the case. If you think about buildings, like the mega, like really high buildings, you don't
Yeah, they're
actually
strong
want it
that
to
way,
be,
but not that way.
you want it to actually have a bit of mobility to move with the wind.
Yeah.
Otherwise it will snap.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
there-
It was more just.
engineering.
I always thought that if anything ever really went, it would be muscles first.
Yeah, I mean that kind of makes sense, but I guess not. Staccato, thank you for the 20 gifted memberships and also for the the $100 super chat. Objectively and subjectively, Shu has it going on and blows away 20 somethings.
But does she blow
thank
away
you.
20-year-old her?
Here, hold on.
I mean, I could find a picture, but I don't.
The answer is
I
we
would-
all
yeah.
know the answer is no.
Let me pull up some Facebook images.
People
and
are like, oh, we won't offend somebody he knows. Yes, I will.
honestly,
Yes,
I'm
I
okay
will.
talking
Yes, I
about 20-year-old me versus today me. I'm not that offended in that aspect. Actually, my very first Instagram
It
picture
would be weird because
probably.
they're both you. It was,
Well,
you'd essentially
I'm
get
offended
by
by
yourself.
myself.
Yeah, that would just be strange.
I'm scrolling back, but I think one of my first
Scrolling.
Instagram pictures, I was probably 20 at the time, but you can tell me I'm okay with it. I don't get offended easily.
Everybody know, like it's the sheer fact that people even try and have the conversation when everybody knows.
I'm not trying to have this conversation.
No, it is just a question of cope. And it's like, I don't know why people start coping for other people. Well, so and so was more like still attractive at 40. Yeah, not as she was at 20. Like, this to me is the same as anything else. It is the same as when you're supposed to use different pronouns for people. It is that strange that such a well-known fact that we have known throughout all of history until 5 minutes ago, and now we're all supposed to lie about it.
That's why I'm okay with it. This is fine. This is not. I'm in my 20s here. This one.
Yeah, but like you said earlier, being Asian is cheating.
it's kind of true. It's kind of true.
Looks good. I like this picture.
I will be, 20 till I'm
Yeah,
50.
there'll be a day, and you'll age like 40 years in one snap.
I know. And I'll have curlers in my hair and be 4'10". I'm waiting
You'll
for
be
it.
like chasing someone with a tray. It's like,
Yes, throwing slippers at them too,
what was that? I think it was Shinobi. There was a good series. I think it was a Netflix series, Shinobi, about ninjas. But that had like old grannies that still knew like the ways of the shinobi that could beat up the living crap out of people. It was like, "What you doing, granny?" It just kicks the crap out of them. Yeah,
Sorry,
Shinobi on Netflix.
Aborigine Maza for $1.99.
Oh
Wait,
no!
what did you call him?
No, she called him Aborigine. That is fine.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She didn't use the 3-letter shortened version, which to the rest of the world is still fine. But we'll have Mozza going, "Don't say that."
Don't say that. Unga.
Aborigine.
Oh,
I've never
God.
heard that. That's why.
Oh,
Okay.
really?
I say
Yeah, Aborigine is still a
aboriginal,
word.
but that's anyways.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's different tenses of the same word.
Yeah. Jason Webster for Australian 5. It's not just a woman's beauty. It's whether they also have a great personality, a beautiful mind, and a warm heart that really attracts me. That's sweet, Jason.
I'm not even.
Thank you for
What
the
you're
5.
attracted to is different to the objective attractiveness of a person. Like there is scientific ways of measuring attractiveness down to like symmetrical of their face and stuff. The most interesting thing about attractiveness I saw was a study which had women smell the sweat of various men, and they could predict which ones the women were attracted to via their genetic tests. And so they were attracted to people who were genetically similar to them, and they could tell by the smell of their sweat alone. It's stuff like that, which is really strange.
Interesting.
Yeah, interesting. Ian for another 50. Thank you, Ian. I've worked out Disparu sign language. Right hand, right hand through the hair means actress is too old, and arms wide out means S Club 7 or Jimmy Carr.
Or I'm starting a video. I start every video with so. Because
It's
that's
true.
That's
He
how I
does.
train myself to get into the tone of a video is, and so it's like performance mode. Yeah,
Like
I've
camera
always been
action.
Mhm.
I never noticed
I-
that.
I've
Now
no- I've noticed other people do it. No, when I because I know I do it. Like it's not conscious, but
Ian.
it was kind of the way I launched into a video when I first started. Because I think I watched a video that was talking about somebody else, and he was on about how a guy used his hands a lot, and I use my hands a lot anyway. But it's a way that I use to control how I think and like the points and stuff. And so I think the way he described it, it was almost like an orchestra. You do percussion actions with like to make points and stuff. And so I kind of just opened, and it is just an open gesture. And I see other people in other videos also do the same thing, and it's very weird when you notice it.
You okay?
Oh
Yeah,
no,
she
the
just-
glass like hugged
your
the
coaster.
toaster,
Yeah.
and it fell off because it like stuck to it a little.
Oops. Old Renaissance Boomer for 2. Thank you. So they really had a poop deck. Yeah,
Yeah.
just really like that one.
Yeah,
They did.
Honestly, it's a
Uh,
really it's not a dude documentary to watch. I wouldn't recommend it to dudes unless you really want to learn
yeah, because
about
they'll
it.
just be like piss and poo over the side.
Well,
Dirty
that was actually
cretins.
part of the documentary, and with men, it wasn't a big deal, but
Yeah.
for women, there was actually a risk of them falling in. So I think that's why they didn't recommend it.
No, that's easy to do. All you need is you just tie to off the side like various different slides and stuff, and you just get them to squat over them. It's a piece of piss, literally. Like guys don't care about any of that kind of stuff. It's like guys will walk into a public. If there's somebody cleaning, there has been times where there's like cleaners in a public toilet. They're always way more. Oh my god, I didn't know anyone was coming in. Than you are about this stuff. I think guys are way less
It
sensitive.
depends
about
on
that.
the woman. If a woman has given birth, I kid you not, the amount of freedom they're okay with showing of their body to medical professionals, at the very least, they don't care.
I'm not about medical. I'm not about the general public, because you would be in a public place. Like a load of guys would line up on that boat and just start pissing over the side. And they don't know whether care whether men's watching, women's watching. It wouldn't make any difference to them at all. They'd probably crap over the side. They don't care who's watching either. I think it just.
I mean,
affects
I
women
would
way more.
prefer to crap over the side of a boat than in a bag.
So you need a friend to like hold you
Just-
so you don't fall overboard.
No, just
Like,
set up
help
a
me.
slide. Like, just get a bit of metal and you crap on the slide and it goes down. I don't know.
Oh,
This is so
no.
easy to solve.
He's like, I already got
I
it figured
think-
out. These people
Yeah.
are dumb.
They
The next
needed
time I go on a
problem solvers.
cruise, I'll bring Disparu and he'll knock the sense into these people if we get stranded.
Yeah,
He'll be like,
all
listen,
you need is
everybody,
any-
if we get stranded, poop over there.
No,
Designated
any
poop
ki-
corner.
any kind of tube, you just cut it in half. Now you've got like a little slide. You just tie it to something, and then you just line them up. You can find a bit of cloth or something to give a curtain if you're really that bothered about it.
A curtain.
What? No one's saying it's going to be the same quality as the toilets, but you're still going. I am not. You are going over the side, or you're going over the side. Those are your two options.
I don't want to go on a cruise. Let's just not do that.
Look, I'm a better engineer than Riri Williams. That's what I've learned.
Oh my god.
She
Riri
goes
is
around
a
with 75 IQ thinking she's a genius.
I will give her this. Good engineer, bad businesswoman.
I don't think she's a good engineer. Like, I
She
know.
made a watch that like will blow this bubble around you that protects you from everything based on a noise or a gunshot. She makes suits, AI, all this. Good engineer, bad businesswoman.
No.
But
the
is she
s-
iconic?
The TV,
like they said
the TV
she would
show,
be.
the
That's what I
TV
need to
show
know.
magicked that she'd made all these things. But at no point throughout the entire show did she show any intelligence from the way she spoke, the way she acted, any kind of plans that she had. So they basically went, Magic made this, but she's really intelligent, and you're supposed to believe it. But from her actions, she would not have the intellect to make anything. Now, Tony Stark, you believe Tony Stark had the intelligence to make all of his stuff by the way he acted.
Yeah.
Not everyone has to be a good marketer to be good at doing their business.
Not marketing. There is.
God,
I think you can tell someone's intelligence just by talking to them, and she was not very smart.
Oh, she was probably book smart at best. At best.
I think she was 75 IQ. I
But-
think she was basically in the full-on actual moron category. I think I think her AI was way smarter than she was.
As someone who is book smart and not really street smart, I understand that.
She wasn't book smart though. She could barely talk. She could barely string a sentence together.
That's me though. I understand it.
You don't talk like you were raised in Chicago.
Thank you.
You've ever said to her, Disparu?
Oh my god, he complimented me!
I don't know.
Be careful.
You're Canadian isn't exactly a compliment.
I was like, wait for it. He's got a voice of a sandwich
I
coming.
had to balance it. I can't end up complimenting someone.
No,
I'm British.
no. And this is why, like, if she made all those inventions, and as Gary has said, she could have made billions, but she wanted to steal thousands.
She
She's not
invented
smart,
the holodeck.
streetwise.
She invented a personal friend that you can carry around in a necklace.
A watch that protects you. You know how many like missions that could be so useful in Black Ops and all that? But no.
You know what an Iron Man suit would be great for? One of those AI sex dolls.
Ew.
Hey,
What-
no.
Where's she
You
going
go.
with
Oh,
this?
that is the most profitable idea you can have. Everyone's talking. Oh no, you get a maid thing.
Well,
No,
I
you make
guess
one of
it's
those
like
dolls.
Pornhub.
You will make way more money there than you will for a shield for a military operation.
You get a
Palmer
Natalie in
Lucky is in
every
the wrong industry.
suit.
Do you?
I
know,
mean,
do
there
you
are
know,
people who play for it.
you know, Palmer Lucky is the strangest career change I've ever seen. He started making VR headsets. Then he sold his technology to Valve, who made like their Valve Index, and then he moved into military technology, and now owns like a military invention department.
Well,
That's what
I didn't
Riri
watch,
Williams
so-
should have done.
Oh, yeah.
Well, she's not that smart. Streetwise.
She's
Might
not
be book-wise.
streetwise. She got
Definitely not
dominated
smart
by every single
streetwise.
person around her. She got outsmarted by everyone around her. It
Yeah.
took a white guy that had absolutely no street smarts at all an hour of actual television time to beat the crap out of her. from blackmail to I'm ripping your spine out in the street.
Yeah. I just hate how the show kept on telling the truth and she ignored it.
It's because she's not very smart.
Oh, take accountability. Oh my God. Oh, you're evil. Blah, blah, blah.
Every single
Blah,
person in that
blah.
entire show told her she was scum, and
Yep.
she still thinks she's a hero.
From the very beginning, the first 5 minutes. Oh, you did this, this, and this to do bad things. You should take accountability. She's like, no, I
Do you wanna know
deserve more.
My grand theory is that when she was a child, that wrench fell on her head, gave her brain damage, and she's been having hallucinations ever since. And so she only thinks that she's been inventing this, like, suit. She thinks she went to Wakanda. She thinks she went to MIT, where actually she's been stuck at home all this time, just messing with, like, paper clips and stuff. And she's just hallucinating all of this technology. Demon magic and stuff doesn't exist, but she's like, oh my God, the demons are attacking me. I'm having massive fights in the street. My dead friend is talking to me in the streets, and it's just all her hallucinating.
I just found this when I
This
opened
is
up
fake,
Twitter.
by the way.
Oh.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know it's fake, but I can't find a source, and so I'm going to assume it is. I saw this earlier and looked for it.
The craziest part is I would not believe it.
Well, the reason why I didn't believe it is because it sounds like somebody who is low IQ said it. And Robert Downey Jr. would have phrased it differently.
Maybe.
I actually think someone too thick to be Robert Downey Jr. made that up.
That he said that? Like, you don't think that he, like, his publicist, like, came out and said that? Even if
I don't think he would have said,
like...
you're a racist if you don't like it. I think if he would have said it, it would have been things like, well, people have a problem with black main characters. And
yeah, he would have made it
know
more...
those kind of people. Yeah, it would be phrased far more socially acceptably. It would be phrased more in the kind of the Hollywood manner. It would be more virtue signal wise than that's like a blunt hammer to the face.
Yeah. I love how this person who also loves the show, by the way, says, however, there's one damning question. How she interned in Wakanda and helped save Wakanda, but they gave her nothing. Shuri knew all about her and knew she was broke and came from nothing, and she just sent her back to be broke. She was not broke when she got sent back. She got a grant.
Yeah.
To make everything. She had everything, and she still squandered away saying, I don't have enough money. I'm going to go and sell tests and paperwork complete because guess what? I need respect. I need to make a suit to get respect. No, you don't.
Her motivation changed like 3 or 4 times throughout the entire series. So it started with, I want to make suits for firemen to protect people in fires. Then it was, I need a suit for respect. I could invent all this other stuff, but I don't bother because you're just all obsessed with Iron Man suits, so that's what I want to make. Then it was, I want to make an Iron Man suit to protect my family because my sister died or my friend died in a drive-by, and so I need to protect you all. I think that would have been the better motivation. But it was almost like said off the cuff in a random reshoot scene, I'm assuming, off like 3/4 of the way through the series. So none of it ever really worked. But you're right, she had all the, she made a suit. Like at the start of the series, she has a suit. If she doesn't destroy it by getting kicked out of university, she's already finished everything she wants in life.
No, she has to turn to a life of crime. Where was the money going towards? Is my question.
Working at McDonald's or something? Like, dang, I needed money when I was a teenager and I worked at restaurants. I was like, I'm gonna. Well,
I think the most damning thing she says is when she says, "I want to get a job in Dubai. Do not steal in Dubai, by the way. But I want to go to Dubai so I can finesse stuff from a lab." It's like she doesn't even want to work for money. She wants to work so she can snick even more stuff. So right from the start, even without anyone else, she has no excuses because she always wants to nick stuff.
She had a lot of things that put her ahead of a lot of people. Scholarships, the connections she's made, the fact that she's even been to Wakanda and has talked to like some of the top dogs in Wakanda. Like you can use that to your advantage. And she's made AI, she's made a lot of these technological breakthroughs, and yet she wants to squander it away to make a couple $1,000 here and there.
Well, her problem was essentially she got DEI'd all over the place. So rather than having to earn things and drag herself up, so she went through the normal trajectory where she appreciated what she had. So she started on the bottom rung, earned up, and so she appreciated the value of everything she had because she knows what it's like to not have it. She jumped to the peak that she's never going to achieve again. She will never be in Wakanda. She will never have the technology. She'll never have all their infinite resources, their unique elements, access to it again. And so she went in at the top. Then she came down to everyone else, and as though equality seems like oppression because she was up here and she got uplifted there just because of who she was, whatnot, rather than what she can do. And she ended up back the same as everyone else. And that left her. She was like, well, I want to get back up there. And she didn't realize that she had to earn where you are. And you could get back up there eventually if you invented all of the stuff and actually put the effort in to get through the medium time. So you just end up with someone who wants everything. She wants to be at the end goal when she's like 70 now. She wants all of Stark's money without all of Stark's work.
Oh no,
Everything
she wanted
was like,
to be
gimme,
better
gimme,
than
gimme.
Stark.
Well, yeah, but
Better than
let's say,
Pym.
let's say she was more intelligent than Stark. She would still have to put in. She would still have to put in a load of work to get where Stark was. But Alexa started kicking off behind me. That's why I got distracted.
Oh, okay.
Started talking to me. I'm like, she went, I'm sorry, but I don't know how to help you with that. It's like,
Is that Riri talking
Williams,
to you?
are you? Yeah. But he put in a load of work. He set up businesses. He created all of his own stuff. And she just wants to be so he's like, whatever he was, 56 or something. And she wants to be like 56 when she's 19. She doesn't want the 30 years of work that took him to get there. She just wants it now.
Which is the sad part, because when you do the work, it feels so much better when you reach and achieve those goals. But hey, reparations and all that, people want to take that bag
Just
where they
fix
can
him.
get it. It's really sad, because then you're not.
You're weak.
When I think about wealth and some people who like the people who win lotteries, and we've seen that before, people who win these lotteries will squander all that money away versus someone who might take years and years and years to earn it. Now, given not always the case, but I'm talking generalized in a generalized sense. She just wants the quick and easy.
Yeah, it wasn't the generalization I had a problem with it. It was that the reason for that in particular is these people have never had money, so they don't know how to handle money. So they get like $20 million. And they'll buy a mansion for $15 million, not realizing that a $15 million mansion requires a lot of upkeep and a lot of like taxes and stuff.
Oh my God.
And then they just they don't so they don't know what the upkeep is, and that's how they lose all their money a lot of the time. Now there are the few people that spend it all on like various substances and hookers and stuff, and they probably have a great time for a couple of years. But a lot of the time they just buy a property that's way too much money for what they can afford.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't think long term. They're just like, oh well, obviously I can afford 10 million if I've got 20 million. Like, actually, you can't.
No, and that is a very sad reality for a lot of people who come into instant money. And I mean, Riri, she was a bit of a hot mess on the show.
She was stupid.
She did not know how to direct her feelings, and she had no accountability on top of that. And so when she's thinking, I want to do this to help all people. No. You want to do this to help yourself.
She never helped a single person in the entire series. Not ever.
She has actually hurt more people, killed, put them in prison, hurt, and in danger.
I never forget in the tunnel episode, there is a guy in the guard where they go and fight all the guards. He is unconscious on the floor, and Clown, or one of the women, backflips. I'm like, why are you backflipping? There's no one there. And she backflips so she can shove a knee into his back and paralyze him. When he's on full floor, he's unconscious, he's not moving, he's not a threat. Those people enjoyed pain. That's who she signed up with. And you find out later, yeah, they're all willing to kill her. Not a single person goes, yeah, we won't. No, she's a friend. So they were all murderers that she signed up with. And she kind of knew. Like, she knew full well what she's in for. I don't want to hurt people. Well, you know, we just have to break and entering, fraud, burglary. Well, you are okay with killing people, then, aren't you?
All for money, guys. Okay, extortion, blackmail. Like, she even admitted to doing these things too. It's not like she fell into it and was like, "Oh my god, I'm in over my head. I don't know how to stop this. Like, how do I get myself out of this?" No, but she wanted to do it.
It's why I can understand that, yes, obviously, according to the story, she invented all of this stuff and she could have sold it for billions. But if you just go off anything you've seen in the series, she's got about 75 IQ and she's not very smart. Like, it kept telling you she was smart. It kept showing you, oh, well, I've made all this stuff. But there is no way that that person in a real life situation would come up with anything. This would be a really bottom of the barrel person that no one would give the time of day to. And what got me was when she went to her friend, and he didn't know anything that she'd done. He didn't know she'd killed people, joined a crime, didn't know joined a gang, murdered anyone like that. And she went, "Am I a good person?"
Good.
Well,
He
you're not then, are you?
wanted to say so bad that she was a good person, but guess what?
He couldn't.
He had done a lot of things, and the thing is, he knew
He
something
didn't
was
know
fishy.
about those things.
He was like, "Where are you getting all this money?"
All he knew was her general temperament, that the way she'd lived her life. He didn't know about any of her crimes, and he still didn't like her. And we're supposed to think this guy is attracted to her. So this
I
is
did not
the
think
most.
that.
Well, that's what we're supposed to think. But this is the most generous, which is probably why she asked him, most generous person who wants to tell her she's a nice person, can't. And he has to go, well, I mean, what is morality? What are words? Except
gray lights.
yeah, grand abstract concepts that someone in a foreign land once decided meant a thing. It's like, you could just say she's evil, mate. It's fine.
She is, unfortunately. I understand why this TV show has been pooped out so quickly and so quietly, because it's that horrendous.
Well, when I watched 5 and 6, and now admittedly, because of my sense of humor, I really enjoyed watching 5 and 6. But if you watch them purely as like entertainment shows, not a lot happened in them. I like the comedy bits, but from a story-wise perspective, they would have been really dull. And so, if you'd released them weekly after the first 3, it would have gone even worse. But do you want to know my favorite bit? Because I noticed this in the review that I did today, and I tweeted it out. Wait, how do I get rid of? Hang on.
1 second. I'll wait to share it. You good?
Hang on, I'll refresh it, because X is going, why didn't you promote this? But it's covering the thing. Okay, now. Yeah.
You got it, Wicked?
Oh, yeah.
So, this is coming after she fights Slug. So, Slug, she's just had a fight with 2 women in a fast food restaurant, which was pissing hilarious. But then she's in a road, and Slug starts driving at her when she tries to steal a car. So her first instinct after she's been in a fight is to commit crime. And so Slug's driving after her, starts running along the road to get away from a car, when if she just ran 3 foot to the left, she'd be safe. And so she fights Slug, she beats her, the car flips over and has a crash over here. And then she takes off, and it says Black Lives Matter on the road in rainbow paint.
Did it really?
Yeah, that's there. I mean, it's reversed. It's reversed because of the way I record stuff. But
oh my gosh.
That's what it says. And I'm like, this is where you made 2 black people have a fight to the death where one of them tried to murder the other one. On this sign. I would have died of the irony alone. And you filmed this and we're like, no, this will be a good message to send to people.
Modern MCU is just so garbage now. They throw things in there that like the Falcon show, the Winter Soldier and the Falcon show, like that one scene, it made even normal people mad, like that aren't, as deep into, critiquing these shows and movies as us, that, like, because, okay, make it like, say it's real life and there's actual superheroes. You think the police wouldn't know somebody that was a part of the frickin' Avengers? They wouldn't know his face, someone who showed his face and they know who he is. No, you're a black man, so come over here. I'm gonna arrest you. Oh, sorry, I didn't know who you were. Like, please, as soon as you see him, you'd be like, what's up? Like, you're a superhero. That scene was just so stupid and it was so unnecessary. And it made me mad because I was like, it's not that I thought the show was great or anything, but that was like the moment where I was like, okay, this is where we're going with it. Never mind.
Well, Riri has all of that. So her bedroom, that's repeated. That's the second time that appears in the show. There's a scene. The BLM message. There's a scene where she's in a suit and she's going along shouting, "I can't breathe."
Oh my god!
Yeah. But she's like having a panic attack.
100%. She keeps repeating it. Yeah, but she keeps saying, "I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe." There was another time where they go, "Your death will be in the newspapers tomorrow." She says, "My death won't make the news." There's loads of stuff. There's a time where the guy goes, "Well, everyone has to respect you because you've got an Iron Man suit." And because he's white, she turns to him and goes, "You were born with people respecting you. They have to respect you." No. The entire show is just like Captain Falcon. The message all the way through it. There was a scene where it shows you around her bedroom, and she's got 3 like racial propaganda signs in about 30 seconds.
That's ridiculous.
I don't think I took note of the racial propaganda signs, to be honest.
There's even a song in the show which talks about a brown skin girl. I'm like, what? Why? Why even your music choices have to be informed by this? Like everything in the show, all the time. It is. This is why it's so funny when people go, "Oh, you're racist if you don't like it." It's like, well, the entire show is racist. It's in its bones. That's what this media is.
It's so true. What does she do? She steals things. She takes other people's ideas. She blackmails them. It's like she has a stepfather. There's a gun shooting. People died from it. It's like, why are these? She even the scene that got me was when they made their first whatever money heist and want it. They're like flipping money like this. There is a whole
they're
entire
firing them out
scene.
with the money guns.
It's like we didn't make this choice for it to be put in there. You gotta do it.
It's like I said yesterday. Where my main problem with the show is that she's a criminal thief that murders people and sells her soul to the devil, and their rebuttal to that is you just hate black women. And I'm like, no, wait. Do you think this is a common thing? Is this your stereotype? Because I need to know, because that would be very funny. And it's like, at this point, if you accuse me of it, it's more funny for me to know if you accuse me. Because your opinion would then become the comedy.
Yup.
Oh my goodness. Well, you know what? Let's go back to something else that makes people mad, but whatever. It's different.
Makes
topic.
people mad.
At least it's not
It
selling
makes
your
people
soul
mad.
to Mephisto.
Oh my god! Where are we going with this?
Tom Holland cannot be James Bond.
No.
Because he looks like a 16-year-old, 75-year-old.
But like, okay. I never thought
suave for it.
Eggsy from Kingsman.
He looks young and old at the same time. That's
Eggsy from Kingsman, who is not classed as handsome.
Taron Egerton. Yeah,
how old is he?
I think he's cute. He's
the thing is cute.
He's super.
Yeah,
that's why I say I'm like him and Richard Madden are like two top choices for me.
What's his name?
Taron Egerton.
The thing is, because he proved himself in the Kingsman.
To be
I'm willing to give
and like have
him a
that
chance.
vibe.
I think he's too old. He's 35, and I think they said under 30 or something. I can't remember what exactly they put out.
Oh, they said that. Okay, I was talking about the chat, and everyone's like, "Oh, this person's too old. This person's too old." I'm like, "But why? They look great. Who cares?" Like when it comes to guys, they can play Bond when they're in their 30s.
Tom
and 40s.
There's
Holland
nothing wrong with a 35-year-old.
Young looking.
No.
He's not a. Sorry, he's not a sex symbol. Suave looking dude. He's too awkward.
No,
from what I've seen.
That's the thing. James Bond doesn't need to be a sex symbol. He doesn't have to be Henry Cavill. He has to be a posh English gentleman, and it is it's the suave, the sophistication, the attitude, and the money that gets the women. It doesn't have to be his looks. It is the life. It is the life that he leads is enough to get the women anyway, because he's a devil may care guy. He will kill people. He doesn't care about risk and danger. He's simultaneously a bad boy and the posh English gentleman. And so it's less actually about the way he looks and more the way he carries himself and what he has.
And
He
Tom
is
Holland is too
the
awkward
status
to
man.
be that, in my opinion, from what he's shown us.
Tom Holland comes across as a child in every
Like,
role he plays.
If we're gonna
Yeah.
go with like very youthful men that we've seen, I would rather Timothy Chalamet over Tom
No,
Holland.
He looks
Over
like a
Tom
cop.
Holland, only because
The
Well,
reason why-
neither.
you'd rather Tom Holland over Timothy.
Neither.
I wouldn't have any of them because they're
No,
both.
I absolutely would not rather any of them. But if I had to choose between those
they would be better putting on a skirt and being a Bond girl
oh my
than being
god,
Bond. Whereas Taron Egerton, like, and if it wasn't for Kingsman, I wouldn't have agreed. But you
which
do
I
get to see
absolutely
him-
agree.
You get to see him play both sides, and he does do it very well. Now I don't know whether he could play the serious guy, but I would still kind of like to see him try. I think he deserves
I think
an
he
interview.
could.
Put it that
Be-
way, like a
because-
trial.
I think he could, just because the script of Kingsman brings a kind of like jovial, like
That's the thing. I don't know whether he could
attitude
play
to
it
it.
straight. Like he can do the comedy posh guy, but can he
Mm-hmm.
do the actually posh English gentleman?
Yeah, we'd have to
it's
see.
not that different. I think it's more difficult to do the comedy
comedy?
aspect than it is to do the straight.
And I also want
I
to
would
point out
agree,
that
yeah.
he is a little bit older now than in these pictures, so like he looks probably too young to play Bond, like in this shot right here,
Well, no,
right?
But
But
Bond,
he's a little bit more like refined, I guess you could say now, because
Bo-
he's aged probably about what, like 5-6 years.
Bond
since
was
Since
an
the
or-
last one, yeah.
Yeah,
Bond was an orphan raised from a child to be a spy. So I don't really have a problem with anyone at any age being him. It's
Yeah.
a class thing, and that's. I think this is one of the I don't get American comedy things. I don't think Americans understand the English class system. There is just a certain class that you need to be or need to be able to pretend to be. But I do think he could do it. And
I
so I'd
think-
like to see him try.
the
Yeah.
reason they want someone so young is so they could hire one of the twinks, like, to be honest, and I don't want to see
Not,
that.
not one of the
I
twins.
hope
I
not.
think the longevity, they want someone who
Yeah.
will be in the franchise for a long time. Because I mean,
Yeah.
Daniel Craig, when he started, what was he in his 40s?
But I think like 35 would be fine, because like how old was Sean Connery in the last one? Like he was up there, wasn't he?
There's been quite a few like older Bonds. I
Yeah.
think the issue is to kind of go between both of your points is that if they do go for a younger actor, they will have to dodge all of the twinks because
Yeah.
most younger actors are twinks.
Yeah.
And so
I mean,
you
it's
really
just
have to
natural
dig
because
through them
muscle
to get
development
past
and
them
all that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I guess we'll see where they're going. Out of all these, like I have no idea who this is, but I don't think this person is cute.
He
No.
looks more Twinkie than
Harris
He
Harris
looks
yes.
common. He looks
This is
common.
Aaron Dickinson. So Jacob Elordi, like I've seen him, he could like act. He's Australian. Like out of those three, I would say
Not as a
like,
Bond.
not as a
he-
Bond, but
again,
I don't
he
know
looks
him out
common.
of those three, maybe I guess. But I don't think any three of
Like
them
I
are
would
a
have
good
no problem with
choice.
him being like a crazy henchman because that's how. Now, admittedly, I've only seen him in that picture.
Here, let's
But in
look.
that
He
picture,
was-
he
I'll
could
look
be
him
like
up.
a crazy henchman, but he does not look posh. The thing is, if you go and look at any picture of Brosnan, he looks like Bond. Even now, he looks like Bond.
Oh
There is
yeah.
a certain element
absolutely.
of class.
this
Okay,
looks
some of
like
the-
a typical
no,
Gen Z dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. He looks.
I mean,
he looks like he's just come out of Twilight,
these pictures do him more
especially that IMDb one.
better than that other picture they chose for that tweet.
They chose like a weird one with a piercing and stuff. Like
Yeah, but
He
I
played
think he looks
Elvis.
more put together than that last picture.
yeah, he
It-
played
it-
Elvis and not the one with he wasn't not Austin Butler, obviously that he played Elvis, but he played this one. Jacob Elordi played Elvis in a Priscilla movie that was like from her.
You know what? The
Point of
beard
view.
does him better. I like
Well,
the
the-
beard. on
It
him.
ages
You
him a
can't-
bit, like in a good
Bond-
way.
Bond doesn't have a beard.
He's clean shaven, yeah.
That's
The
true.
thing is, with this, it can even be the difference between like a haircut. Like
Yeah.
you put him in a haircut and a suit, and they stop looking like a Zoomer, and he might fit. So it is always tough. Oh, he's Australian. No.
Yeah, I said that. He's like, oh no. But I know it's funny.
I
he
mean,
also
I like the
dated
Australian accent. Let's
he
not hate
dated
on that.
Zendaya too. So 2 out of these 3 people
Well,
have been with
he can't be James
Zendaya.
Bond. He's
Wow!
Australian.
So whoever's been in Zendaya is gonna be for the
Well,
Bond role.
The thing is, there's in coupling, there's a whole thing about the one of the women, one of the main girlfriends. She went to Australia. She has a thing for the Australian accent, and the husband's like, yeah, you know, we can't go over there because most men in the nation know her. It's like she essentially worked her way through the country.
Oh my god!
And so it's like, she's like, I just can't resist an accent. I can't say no to an Australian. And there's a higher plot point about the Aussie accent for
Wait,
it.
who said that?
It's in coupling. It's one of the running jokes.
Oh, okay.
You know what? I will say Australian accents, both men and women sound great. British, I think men sound better than women.
Yeah.
That happens. It's like in Russian, the male accent, the women
The
accent.
Russian accents, females sound better than male, in my opinion.
Yeah.
One of the interesting things, though, if you kind of think of a map and go around the world, it does seem to be people who are like far away from each other, like each other. So very.
It's
few
like the
places-
difference. You like the
Yeah.
different things. So
There was a movie that was it Murder by Numbers, and that I always remember the line in that which said there was a linguistic guy, who, I think it was French, and he was like he went through all English to try and find the most two attractive words in the English language, and it was Salador. I was like, oh, that
Why?
actually works because it kind of Salador kind of flows. It's kind of French in itself. And I've always remembered the Merovingian from The Matrix 2, who said, of all the languages in the world, French is the best at cursing. Because it's like wiping your arse.
mad.
It's like wiping your arse with silk. Like,
It is.
Everything just rolls off the tongue. And Salador rolls off the tongue. It's like, it's not
Salador.
blunt. Like, if you speak
Salador.
German, ich bin a lieber dich. It's all very...
Oh my god, the I love you in German
Don't
sounds
swear at me.
so
Okay.
like aggressive.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, it sounds like you're about to punch them in the face.
Yes.
But yeah, so you have blunt languages, you have like very forceful languages, but French is more smooth and like
my God.
flowing and flowery.
Like you could say anything in French to me and I'd probably be like, oh, I'm melting.
It was there's loads of stuff like that, which that I think that's why they chose Salador, because it sounds the most French, and I do think that French, it was always Paris was the place of romance and French was the language of romance. I can kind of understand why. That also explains why in war they just run away, because they were too busy shagging each other to ever like declare war on anyone.
Well,
Hey, love, not war.
love.
Yeah,
It worked apparently for the French.
I think the only French sentence I know is "Je suis un gare," which is "I am a train station."
Why?
I know why.
Because it was said somewhere and I just remembered it. I think it was
just
said
stuck
in like a
with me.
stand-up comedy at some point, and I've remembered it. Because
For me, it's est-ce que je peux aller aux toilettes, which is can I go to the bathroom, or est-ce que je peux ouvrir la fenêtre, open the window.
and then there's that. I can't remember what song it is, but it's just French for "Will you go to bed with me," which I think is probably the most
Voulez-vous
common.
coucher avec moi?
Yeah, the
Oh,
Lady
so you do
Marmalade.
know other language. You do know other
No, but
language.
that's in a song. That is in
It's
the
still French. It's a
Moulin
French
Rouge
sentence.
song. I mean, as someone who grew up in a country who you do have to learn French from grade 3 to grade 9. You do know a little bit of French.
I had to learn French, and then because I was in a certain class, I had to learn German as well. I know more German than French.
Whereas
Well, that
I'm
was-
French.
That was like 18 years ago, so I've forgotten most of.
I have a good Quebecois accent when it comes to French. I don't think about a good. Like,
I'm sorry,
not
a
good
good
French.
a good what accent?
Quebecois, which is our French province in Canada,
Do you
which
mean
are
Quebec?
also Quebecois. Quebec. Quebec.
Everyone else calls it Quebec, but you like
Quebec.
Quebecois.
It's Quebec. You know,
No, but you said Quebecois or something.
no, which is Quebecois, which is meaning the people that come from Quebec.
Oh,
Quebecois. You know.
oh, so it's like the difference
Torontonians.
between France and French,
Yes.
right?
There you go. But they don't like us. They always want to separate from us. There's the language
I'd invade
police
them.
in Quebec.
They
They
wouldn't put up a
have
fight. They're French.
you get fines for like putting your package in English versus French. And
but
package
they-
meaning your mail,
Look,
by the way.
the Welsh try this all the time for us. The Welsh, there was even a thing that where because they started making languages like they do over there. With, oh, well, everything's got to be Welsh because we're a dying language. So you will have like street signs and everything in both languages. But there was one where on a road in Welsh it said look left. In English it said look right. And left was the correct answer. So they were essentially murdering English people by making them look the wrong way on the road.
Oh wow.
Although
That's one way to filter through some beings. Oh wow.
My favorite one was the road sign that said, "Hello, I'm Stephen. If you would like me to translate anything for you, please call the number and I will get back to you." Because what they'd done, they'd asked for a translation and then they just listened to his answer phone message and written it down. And they
World
thought
is
that was their
strange.
translation.
World is strange.
Very, very.
Yeah, the Welsh love to pretend they've got a language. They don't.
You know what? I will say this. The weirdest language that I've heard was the Gaelic language. They love to put vowels where there's no business to put vowels.
No business. She said that like it really offended her.
I'm not sure the exact classification of Gaelic, but isn't that like Welsh, Scottish, Irish? Isn't it like
It's
a
the
more of a group of
Irish.
people
It's the
than...
Irish
Yeah.
language. And there's
Oh yeah, because
there's
Welsh and
a-
Scottish are Celts, not Gaelic.
there's
Yeah, okay.
literally a peninsula that that little village is the only place that speaks Gaelic.
Now, are they speaking a different language, or are they just so pissed you can't understand them?
No, they're speaking another language because I have hung out with enough Irish
Press
people.
X to doubt.
No, I've hung
I
out with
think they're
enough
just
Irish
slurring.
people to know that they speak English. I just don't get their accent, especially when I'm drunk and they're drunk.
No, if you're drunk, you'll probably understand them even more.
No.
like-
Disprove. That's the problem. Is that when they hang out with other Irish people, I don't understand them. I've had to tell my friend, repeat.
I remember I went to Dublin years ago, probably 20 years ago or something. But yeah, was asking for a Coke in a bar. They went, "What? A Coke? A what? Coke? A what?" So in the end, I pointed, and they went, "Oh, a cork."
A
Yeah.
cork.
So after that, I just asked for a cork, which to me is the thing in the top of a wine bottle. But whenever I asked for a cork, they understood what I meant.
Oh my god. So my best friend, one of my best friends, she's Irish, and she used to say to me, "What's the crack?" And I would like
Oh, yeah.
giggle. And so I learned what crack was like, oh, what's good, what's happening.
Yeah, what's happening? Yeah.
And I think I just giggled the entire time thinking like, I think she does crack. I'm not sure.
There was a thing I saw
She doesn't
recently with
crack.
American. Oh no, I think it was like a Japanese or Korean. Went to English, and they keep asking me, "You right?" I'm like, "Yeah." It's like they don't realize it's a greeting. Nobody actually cares how you are. It's like hello. But like everyone keeps asking me, "Am I all right?" It's like,
Mm-hmm.
I went down a rabbit hole of various different like linguistics, people trying to learn English, and they're using this game where it keeps bouncing back and forth until they get the correct pronunciation. And then that linked me to a load of other videos of just, I'm in this foreign country, I don't know what anyone's saying. And a lot of them were, we learned English, but we learned it in university, so we all learned Oxford English, the Queen's English. And then we came over here, and everyone's speaking slang, and I don't understand any of them. So, like, help me, I'm in Yorkshire, I don't know
Help
what's
me.
happening.
I don't know what they're saying to me.
Like, a lot of my video feed is just like, Japanese people stranded in Yorkshire. They have no idea what's going on.
Oh.
That would be wild. I love that English language. We've gone from just English to American English to Canadian English to ASL to Black ASL. The dialects that come from this is insane.
Yeah, it's been mutated into various different abominations. I can agree.
Yes. Well, like
I
even
can
just
agree.
different differences in words, and we talked about this with like
He's
even
doing the
like
meme.
pork balls to fanny to I'm trying to think of other words. Those are the ones that like pop out to me. Sorry. A bag of sticks.
Sorry.
Or sorry, a bundle of
Sorry.
sticks. You know, these things. It is a beautiful
Look,
thing about
It's
change.
in Lord of the Rings. It's a legitimate word.
I'm not saying it.
No, but it is in Lord of the Rings.
Wait, did they actually say it in Lord of the Rings? I
It's in
don't
Lord of-
remember.
yeah.
Just Brew
it's-
did
yeah.
he did the gif. Hold on.
Yeah.
No, this because I said this like British people because that one like we were watching like the little clip of when Charles got shot at and he was just like fixing his cufflinks and he's like and then someone in the comment put this is like get shot at Prince Charles.
It's the
Sorry.
disgust mechanism. Ooh, the foreigner.
Oh my gosh. All right, let me catch up on supers. Hi, Mike.
Hi, Mike. I saw Mike like literally this past week. It was such a fun
Aw.
lunch. His hair is so big now.
Aw.
Yeah, but it was better when he spiked it.
That's true. Like Sideshow Bob.
Like Sideshow Bob, yeah.
Drew's always got a nitpick at poor
But
Mike.
you know, I'm
He's the
actually
one
mad
that
at
brought
Mike.
it up on FNT. I didn't. That was his.
Oh, okay.
thing.
I'm
Okay.
mad at Mike. He was supposed to bring his Switch 2 coin. He didn't.
No, that's in his safe.
I'm
He keeps that.
disappointed.
Like he likes to stroke it every now and then. Go like, my precious, my precious.
I don't want to think about him stroking his coin.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't.
like,
no, I don't.
They're stroking his button. That's the thing. It'll have like a shiny, smooth area where he just keeps going over and over again.
Oh my god, ew.
Like he'll get invaded by the forces of Mordor.
On that
What
note, we're gonna
Disparu
catch up
thinks
on
about
super chats. Well, Disparu thinks about things.
Mike's coin in Mordor.
Mike's coin.
Rubbing his button.
Thrudge for $4.99. Wouldn't want to be downwind of someone going over the side. Oh, the peeing or pooping
Oh,
on the
the
ship.
peeing.
Well,
you're
that's
talking
what
about.
you can work out the wind direction first. That's your choice.
You
So
have to go-
apparently, someone
Which way is it going?
like pooped in a bag and like tried to throw it in the ocean. It
What a savage.
flew back and hit someone. on deck.
Yeah, and that guy should have grabbed it and shoved it in the guy's face. Be like, oh, you uncivilized peasant. Why don't you just do it over the side like a normal person?
Oh my god. In that
I-
note,
I
I
could
will be
solve-
right back.
Most of these problems are just solved because nobody wants to be the problem solver. If you just went, no, you're going over, we're making slides. We're having poop slides. This
Ew.
wouldn't have been an international story. Look at ooh, that's better than crapping in a bag.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's just like when you used to say poop slides, it's like that's just it doesn't hit right.
No, that's
Picky
because you're
sounding.
not that could be also hilarious. Who doesn't like a slide?
Yeah, let your poop have some fun
Have
before.
get your
flop.
wife to get your wife to drop her like a bottle of water there. Now you've got a water poop slide.
Oh my goodness.
You could even hold like you could make like little circles that come off the deck with points in them. You have to like aim for certain ones. Make
Mike's
a game out of it.
Staccato, thank you for the $9.99. She says, Disparu, you confuse sexy for beauty. They can be
No.
simultaneous. Oh my god. But they don't have to be. I'll take sexy any day. Sorry, I wasn't saying oh my god to you. I was saying me because it took me a second to get that word out.
No, it is simply that beauty comes down to like you are attracted to fertility. Fertility goes as you age. There is an evolutionary advantage to lowering beauty as you age, so everyone knows that you are aging. And yes, you can imitate good genetics with various different substances. It's what makeup is. So they put rouge on their cheeks because when you are fertile, you blush. Like your blood goes to your cheeks. So you are imitating fertility signals with fake things. So you can fake it. But if you take all that away and you just go down the biological things as they would have in the wild when you evolved, no, none of that things happens. The 20-year-old is more attractive than the 40-year-old. This is what we are meant to be. People are just in denial. It is cope. And I actually think it's quite harmful that people are constantly trying to hold on to their youth rather than entering the next stage of their life.
Oh yeah,
where they're supposed to
especially
mature and move
when
on.
you're getting surgeries like that and stuff. Yes, I do know words, Mike. Simultaneous. I know the word. I don't know, man. It's been a long week. Leave me alone.
Why? What did you say, Robin?
I don't remember. I don't remember. I like.
You could have just said at the same time. It's like,
Yeah. They can be at the same time. Yeah, exactly. I know words. No, I know the word. I just messed up on it. Fiesta Cat for 199 says, "Hello, black people." Is that in the show? Because a lot of people have been saying that in chat.
That's
Is
in
it
the
in
show.
Ironheart?
Twice.
Oh goodness.
The same
okay, I
guy.
figured it was.
He enters a room twice. And I just keep cutting it with, "Hello, fellow kids." And in the second one, I am now like, I think he's just got the boot polish out. I think he's an Englishman which has gone undercover and somehow sneaked into the show and he's just pretending. It's like, no, they won't notice me.
Jerry.
Hello, I've been here all along.
Hello, Jerry Dusills. Thank you for becoming a member on YouTube, or YouTube member, I should say. Let It Go Entertainment, Mike for 499. Only Tony came up with self-aware AI, even the
I don't know if
Wakandas
that's
could
calling out
muster
Mike
one.
or if that's just his name.
He's probably his name's Mike.
Because it could just be, "Let it go, Mike." It's like,
Let It Go Entertainment, Mike. The Dead Man for 199. Hello, ladies and lesbian. Hello. That one gets a salute. Ian for 50 says, Ian for Bond.
a Scottish man can be Bond. I would prefer Ian Soforth for Bond than Spider-Man.
Well, there you go. Clip that one, Ian.
No, I mean, look, he may be drunk, but at least he can run across London. What can Spider-Man do? It's like, if he becomes Bond, the next Bond girl is going to be his wife, and the next Bond girl shouldn't be his wife. She shouldn't be anything. She looks like she smelt something bad all the time. She does. She goes through the entire Dunes like. That's not just because he got something shoved up her nose. In fact, I'd probably shove something up her nose so she starts going, learns to act.
Oh, look at Chad. There's a fight now. Epic Mike for Bond.
I would prefer Epic Mike for Bond than Tom Holland.
Let It Go Entertainment Mike for 199. It says nothing. It's not. I thought I was going to say it as a super sticker, but nope. It's just a super chat. Thank you. Ian Soforth for another 50. Here's the Bond issue. Back in the day, they would cast a 40-year-old and they would make 5 movies in 8 years. There's no way they would keep that pace now. So someone like Cavill would make at best 2 films before being recast.
Yeah, and that is exactly the problem. And that is a problem that Hollywood should learn to solve rather than accepting the new standard. So I would never accept 3 years for 8 episodes. Like, you're just awful at your job. You should be fired. If you can't make 22 episodes in a year, you're not a television producer. You should be fired. And we just get someone who can. But for now, I would go, while you're recasting Bond, just get Henry Cavill. Even if he makes 2 movies, great. People will like him.
2 good movies.
It'll be better 2 movies than crap 2 movies.
You will get Bond back into the public zeitgeist. You'll have a good actor. You already know him. Everyone wants him. You'll have public opinion on your side. You just get them out. And while he's doing that, that's when you cast your, 22-year-old actor or whatever you want. And he ages up 4 or 5 years in the time. And then he's ready to come in with your next plan for the next generation. But now what we've got is this huge gap where we're planning things but not making anything. It's like, well, you've just got him there. I don't really care if Henry Cavill only makes 2 movies. Just get him in now.
Just get him in. Make 2
and
good.
Start making a movie.
Do something. Yeah, give the people what they want.
We need more action, Henry Cavill. Bring on the Warhammer.
Well, and everything's set up because he's already on there with Warhammer, so he's used to dealing with Amazon. Amazon own the right for Bond. So everything's a lot. He already knows the people he'll be dealing with.
Yeah.
Should be copacetic at this rate.
Jesus Davila gifted a membership.
If you even say the word copacetic.
I'll drink more then. Thanks, Discbrew, for calling me out.
She's like, all right, well,
what was the last word?
Twist my arm.
Last time I heard the word copacetic.
You're like, it's too long.
I was watching a YouTube video. I was watching a YouTube video the other day, and this guy, he was reviewing someone else's channel, and he clearly thought I'm some smart intellectual, and he was using really weird words. But the problem was, if you understood the words, he wasn't saying anything. He was just using obscure words to try and sound smarter than he actually was. And that's my issue with lots of that kind of thing.
This one's for you,
like that.
I was going to save it, but you came back before I got to it.
Yeah, he was clearly pitching himself as an intellectual channel, and he came across as E5.
Comment est votre what? Is it? I don't know how to say the last word. What?
I don't know.
How are the drinks? I actually don't know what that means. I'm just making it up. Good, if that's the case.
Black cane for 5. The Welsh. Wait, let me read this before. Okay, the Welsh couldn't be trusted to
box.
run their own.
That was my box.
Their own schools until the 1990s, and they still don't know how to spell their own names.
Well, I mean, there is a. So the English came and they jumbled up the letters, but the brave Irish boys turned it into a word. Like, if we're on about spelling, they're all worse than the Welsh. The Welsh basically just spit on you. That's what their language does. Like, Candidno. It's like, they just, like a shotgun approach.
Ian,
I think my favorite thing about the Welsh is when everyone was offered, like, you can rule yourself. The Scottish were like, yeah, we're going to set up our own parliament, we're going to have our own MPs. And the Welsh were like, we're going to have an assembly, which is what we have in primary school. Like, yeah, you know, we're going to come up with some laws, but first we got a nice policeman here to talk about road safety.
Ian for 50. America literally has a day celebrating getting rid of the redcoats, and then you see Disparu and you're like, was it really that hard?
That's what she said.
The Americans don't even realize that they didn't exist in that war. It is a bit strange. It's like that war was the English, and the English won.
That's between y'all. I'm gonna let you fight.
He's like, she's like, fight.
That is why I don't know where I saw. I think it was the Headless Horseman, Sleepy Hollow, the TV series. There was a guy in that was like from the past, and so he always used to give this like historical things. And there was one thing I've always remembered was you have like a holiday where it's like the British are coming. Like at the time, we were all British. It's like, oh yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense.
Andrew Matthews for £2. Disparu, tell them the slang.
I can't.
According
I can't.
to YouTube,
You know I can't.
it rhymes with maggots.
Yeah, I know that.
No,
what a cigarette
it
is,
rhymes with the
but-
first 3 letters of that.
Yeah.
But the start of it is to beg something of someone. So if you had a mouse, right? That I wanted to borrow your mouse, I'd be like, can I bum a mouse off you?
Bum
You can bum any mouse off me.
But it becomes
Mike?
different when you start changing to the triple letter word that begins with F. And now you're like, can I bum a... Like, that is a very different connotation, depending on which word. It was... I see a meme on Twitter, and it is the difference between smoke a 3-letter beginning with F. Because over here, it just means smoke a cigarette. In America, shoot one of them.
Well, it also means pork balls.
True. Although that's the lesser note. That would be the full with the got. The shortened term is always cigarettes. This is why I've always said, if I ever get cancelled for something, it will just be for saying some English slang. And I will never know until oh my god, you can't say that in America, and I'll be gone. It'll be for literally something I have no idea about.
He punched his mic. He felt so.
I think he got so aggressive about this.
It happens quite a lot, actually, in recording. I just don't show it. It's like quite often I'll hit my
editing
mic.
magic.
Yes. You don't have to be perfect when you make a YouTube video. You only have to be perfect once.
Manic
have good
Pixie
editing.
Man Girl's been a member for 5 months. Says, I'd say I'll get Henry Cavill in, but I won't.
Where?
A lot of women have wanted to get Henry Cavill in.
And the Dead Man for 199 says, see you on FF X-Ray.
Thank you, Dead Man. I'm excited for this week since we have our cake lens, who we're going to talk about some statues across different cultures. Very similar statues.
Nice.
I'm kind of just going to believe that you said a cake lens.
Archaic lens.
Yeah, but I kind of prefer a cake lens because that would be a camera lens made out of cake.
I mean, I love cake.
The immediate switch. I was like, that would be interesting. Can you make technology out of cake? And you was like, yeah, that tastes nice.
But I love cake. Can I just eat some cake, please?
So this is so Epic Mike is doing like a goal to eat a cake, and you're just like,
again?
Just please make me eat one. Is it like that's your stream?
I mean,
You
I
can't
would
leave a
eat.
target low
I
enough to
don't
eat a
know.
cake.
Okay, do people want to see a girl eat an entire chocolate cake?
Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't think
know.
so.
I'm surprised.
they
that
do. Trust
So
me.
many people want to see Mike eat a cake, to be honest.
You know
What
how
I
they
think
do.
they like to torture Mike
But-
is the difference, though. I don't know if they want to torture me with that.
I mean, Mike had to like seriously set the goal because it's like, well, I
Well,
don't
I'm just
want to do
thinking
it all
of,
the
like,
time.
I think they would. I mean, there's an entire culture that likes just watching, especially
Food.
girls, just eat and eat and eat. So
Okay, if I make it to
Mukbangs.
next stream 1500, I will eat a cake. Entire cake.
You realize what the next question the chat will ask is, though, right?
What?
Because this has already been asked of Mike.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm scared. I'm
Look,
scared.
Eating a cake isn't the only thing you can do with a cake.
Wait, what? Sitting?
oh,
Sitting on a cake?
Yeah.
not the
Oh, I'm
fun
not gonna sit on
Fetty.
a cake and then eat it. No,
No,
ew.
no one said and eat it. You just made up your own king there.
No,
I would never
that'll be a
understand.
different goal. If you wanted me to eat a cake, that'll be $1,500. Sit on a cake, maybe 3,000.
Do you want to know the funniest thing of that I've seen was when Linus Tech Tips as April Fools set up an OF account. And they just did it as a joke. It was not meant to go anywhere. And then there was videos about it, and they kept going to like Linus and be like, someone's just sent us $100 for a picture of your feet. And he's like, yeah, I'll show my feet. He's like, he didn't care. And so they did it. And it kept going on. And he said the reason we had to cancel the account is because it came a non-insubstantial amount of our income. And the moment it started to hit a significant part of our revenue, I cancelled it. It's
Wow.
like, they were too successful at their meme.
Well, I don't think anyone's going to contribute to that, so I'm good.
Well, speaking of changing the subject, Helldivers 2.
Speaking of hell,
yeah, speaking of, hell, there you go.
diving into hell,
Wait, can I just say the last Helldivers update that I really liked was they were on Earth.
Yeah, I
Protect
played
Earth.
that.
Earth.
that was the last update. Yeah,
That was
and
fun.
From the aliens. I think that is like that should have been there from the beginning. I think it was so
Yes.
freaking cool of an idea. Like, yes, protect Earth. Hell yeah.
well,
For
I don't think
democracy.
it should have been there from the beginning. I think it should have been because it basically died when they started asking people to make a PlayStation account
The
for no
Sony
reason.
thing. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
But by then, it was already kind of hitting the end of its life because, they
Yeah.
kept rolling out content, but nothing major. And you need a major content pack.
This would have been the major thing. Protect
Yeah.
Earth. Hell freaking yes.
It should have been ready at launch to launch a few months in, and then you could have kept it going for a lot longer. Whereas now they're trying to resurrect the fan base with it more than anything else. And I think it worked. You might remember about hearing loads of people.
There was a
came back
little
for that.
spike, but it wasn't
I think
like
it was quite
a
significant.
what was the Star Wars game that had a huge
Battlefront?
spike?
Battlefront 2, yeah.
For no reason of it, from what I
think it
could
was-
tell.
That has had several resurrections. Just randomly, it's just taken off. So
Yeah, which is good for the game. I'm not knocking it. I have no idea what each of the resurrections were for. If this works for Helldivers, great, but I don't know.
well,
We'll see.
It has. I've got the chart, and you can just see when the patches are. It's just obvious. When did it
Yeah.
patch? I don't know. So it's kind of down here with and even there, right? 26,000 at a low point is still good. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
34, 30, and then it spiked up to 150,000.
that is a huge increase. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And even then, it went down to 50. Then at its lowest point, it went down to 32, and then immediately spiked to 163.
Which
So-
you know what? This is great work on their part that to be able to revive the game in that sense because Helldivers is still by all means a really good game. Like I
Yeah.
enjoy getting back into it whenever I have gotten back into it.
Yeah, same.
It's
I
not.
played with friends off stream, like I don't know, it was a few weeks ago or so, and it was probably a bit more than that, but around the time that new update dropped, and I was like, run! so cool. I loved it.
The game loop is really interesting. It's the same game loop. And so they need big things to come out to refresh it because there is no long-term variation in it. It's the same stuff on the same
It's
planets.
just like bugs.
And so it's a question, you will get bored of it. It's just a question of how soon.
Yeah.
New
but
skins,
we saw even then,
new guns, all this, and it works. It works.
30,000 players at its low point on Steam isn't bad.
I mean, it's more than
game.
Dustborn.
Well, even that, like for any kind of game, you like they're constantly doing premium passes and stuff. So a lot of games would be happy with 30,000 constant players, even on the lowest point.
What was that other game that came out around Dustborn again?
Concord?
Concord. Yeah.
Oh, Concord lasted
That
a
was
day.
a disaster.
A day, yeah.
But I agree with Asman. That was just nobody wanted to shag the characters. That was literally the problem.
I mean,
with
yeah,
that game.
yeah.
They were just all ugly. So why would you want to play an ugly person? If I wanted that, I could just leave my house.
There's plenty of them. Give me something that's not obtainable, really. That's kind of like the thing, right? Like, I mean, of course, like the whole thing with Stellar Blade, that was actually modeled after a real person, but I feel like that's part of it. Like, you know, for guys that are playing these games, they want like a anime looking chick, maybe that's like really attractive. Not that they're not
She doesn't have to be
obtainable,
that
but...
attractive, and I would have wanted to play it still.
Well, yeah, okay. So Stellar Blade was a good game gameplay ways anyway, but the main character made it better because it's the same thing with ScarJo, right? Did ScarJo harm the movie? No. Would the movie have made more money if it was a hot 20-year-old that was getting her knockers out? Of course it would. Like, you are harming your thing by putting somebody in there which isn't the best person for the job. And that's the point. The same with Stellar Blade. Yeah, it's a great game on its own with great fight scenes and whatever. But because she's hot, and because your audience is men, she made more money because she's hot. And I see a lot of people use that, well, she's a real person, world person excuse. Like, I don't really think that matters. You're creating people out of thin air. So if you make anyone who isn't the best person you can make, you're doing it deliberately. So if you come up with any ugly character, you're doing it deliberately. And there is a reason for ugly people in things. So I remember Jimmy Carr said that in his comedy stuff, he's done better in his career because he has quite a funny face. He's not a 10. He has quite a weird face. And that actually works in comedy. If you have an evil person, there is an evil look to people that does better. But for heroes, Starship Troopers, you want attractive people in there because you're trying to portray these as like the elite, the best people. And people like looking at attractive people.
Now, look, don't get me wrong. I know we're going to talk about Indiana Jones, but so I watched a movie called Fountain of Youth recently. It's an Apple movie. This character on the side here, she is by no means showing a lot of skin herself, but I think the way they built her character as very sexy, just based on the looks in itself in this moment, was far better than even ScarJo. And she's not showing boobs, but she looks sexy. And ScarJo could have done something like this, but we got what we got.
She didn't want to be part of the male gaze anymore. What made her famous?
I'm not saying like put her in skimpy things, but you know, I really, 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 really exorbitantly hated the outfit that she wore at the very beginning when she was supposed to be this like, oh my gosh, I'm a merc that like extracts people from like these crazy countries. She's wearing a pantsuit with like white Skechers.
There is a thing in modern society where people showing skin isn't necessarily attractive. There is a way that, and you've seen, there was a thing on Twitter recently where, well, recently it goes around periodically where she's wearing kind of 70s or 80s clothes and she's completely covered up, but she is way more attractive than anyone else in that street. There's a certain air of elegance which also lends itself to attractiveness.
Yes.
There is like just showing skin is the blunt, animalistic way of being attractive, but there is also a classy way, like the ladylike way to be attractive.
Like Mad Men like some of the stuff that they wore in that show, it doesn't show a lot of skin, but it still shows and accentuates curves.
Yeah.
Well,
True.
it's the same thing what I talked about in the fubar thing when she's doing the tango. They've got her in this really long red dress, slit all the way up her leg. You can't see anything except a leg, but it is probably the hottest thing I've seen in entertainment in years. Like, just the entire dance is really well done. And I think it's really well done for both I think women and men will both like that scene. I think it's the same as in True Lies. I think everybody thinks that tango scene is hot as hell. And it's the same thing. But it's because you've got a guy who is playing like the suave, attractive English gentleman, and you've got the woman who's playing, well, she's in the show, she's not the classy, because she's supposed to be like a spy and stuff, but she's dressed up as the classy lady. And then they both do this like really well choreographed tango, which is a hot dance in itself. And you don't see anything from anybody, but it's all in like the chemistry and the dresses and the clothes and the subtext. And that's what's lost in society, because now everyone's just like, just take stuff off. Like, that's the easy way. That's the cheap way. That's the brute base of your mind level of doing it.
But I feel like that they're fighting so much against the male gaze that it ends up being so detrimental to even just the story. Because if I think a mercenary who is the top of the line, it is definitely not what I saw in Jurassic Park with her little pantsuit, white Skechers idea. Especially when she stood next to him, who he is a 6-foot-something guy. It's not believable. But if they did some movie magic, now a movie that comes to mind, Transformers, I think the third one, where the actress was actually taller than Shia LaBeouf. They had to do a little movie magic to make him seem taller than her.
Yeah, I mean, it was Shia LaBeouf. I can't remember what it is, but I remember the start of a Transformers movie, and I think she's working on a motorbike or something, and it just goes up from her legs, and the entire thing is, she's the TNA character. And it's like, that's the thing. They do remove anything like that, and it's done deliberately. And I just think it's because ugly people work in entertainment, and so they want to try and convince people that ugly people are attractive, and you're not, and we'll never find you that way. And it doesn't matter how many ugly people you put into entertainment, nobody is going to raise their stakes. You can't fill media with ugly people and we'll just change our mind. We know what attractive people are because we've evolved this way for millions of years. So at this point, if an ugly person casts somebody that looks like them, fire them. If you don't cast attractive people in movies, get rid of them. Because you are actively costing yourself millions of dollars. You are costing yourself more than that person's wages with them hiring people that look like them. I don't care how many ugly munters work in Hollywood, get rid of them. I would happily just have people go 10, no, bye, and you like if you don't have the ability to not care about what you want, and this is like when I go, well, 20-year-olds are more attractive than 40-year-olds, and people respond like, I'm attracted to this. I don't care what you're attracted to. I care about what the objective reality standard is. And this is the same in Hollywood. They're going, well, I want this. I go, you want. I care what the audience as a mass wants. And
generalizations versus something more specific.
Well, it's objectivity. You have to be able to abstract out of your mind to think about the situation at hand. You have to think of the bigger picture, and some people can't, and those people shouldn't be in the job because they're not capable of doing it. They always make what they want on the screen, and what you want doesn't matter. And so if you're a woman in gaming, it doesn't matter what you want. You make what the men want. And if you can't do that, get out. Your entire opinion is irrelevant.
But
You're not
we
the
can
audience.
we can always talk about Thor's hammer and subjecting him to the female gaze.
The thing is, that's not really a problem because men don't have a problem with muscly Thor because they still see him as aspirational.
No, but I think it's funny the double standard of that.
Well, I think there should be a double standard between men and women because men and women are different. So I think you should treat them differently.
No, about the gaze in general.
I actually think treating men and women the same does a disservice to both of them, because you're going to be mistreating both of them. And this is the thing. Like, I have no problem with Thor being muscly. I have no problem with the flicking scene.
Me neither.
Well, that's the thing. But you should have the 22-year-old version of Thor in the movie showering under a waterfall for no reason whatsoever. She's like, oh, sorry, I'm so awful. I've just slipped over in this mud field and now I'm gonna have to be in a shower. And you're just like,
God,
that's what needs to happen. Like, have you ever noticed how in Will Smith's movies, he's just in a shower for no reason whatsoever?
I like pretty girls.
I think it's in Will Smith's contract that he has to show his arse. That's the only thing I can think of, because he's in, like, I Am Legend, just getting out the shower. Then he's in that where he's a superhero. Is it? Not Chuck. Might be Chuck. He's like a superhero in one of them. And he's just, like, getting out of a shower for no reason whatsoever. He's in loads of movies.
Uh-huh.
Maybe he puts that in his contract, like, you aren't going to get me unless I'm taking a shower on set.
I think he does. I think he's like, I have to show my arse on camera.
But what I'm saying is, in Hollywood, the female gaze, the male gaze, there's a little equality in that nature, but right now
there's
what
no
we're
equality
seeing...
because there's more men in the audience than women.
Well, I agree with that, but what we're seeing is a leaning towards the female gaze and allowing the females to subject these males to that, like, sex symbol, but we're not seeing it the other way around because, oh my gosh, that's
because
bad.
There was a I think, hang on, I think that's the correct window. That should be a paint window. Yeah, there you go. So this is a scene from the Tango and Smash thing, and you can tell they've just taken over True Lies. And that's the dress that she's in, and all you see is the skirt and but it is like, she is completely covered up. That's the guy. I can't remember where he's from. Oh, I tried to draw a box. I drew an X.
I was gonna be like, what is that?
I thought I was trying to draw a box around his
Control
face.
Z.
But I was expecting to drag a rectangle around him like in Photoshop. But yeah, he plays like the egotistical villain. And so he's really charismatic, but he will also kill random people, but he's just really over the top attracted to her. And the entire dance sequence is, like, amazing. If you don't watch any rest of the episode, just watch season 2, episode 3. It's a great episode. But that's the kind of thing that works for both people, but most scenes don't work for both people. But in that scene, you had both an attractive woman in an attractive dress doing an attractive dance, and you had an attractive man who, with an English accent, doing an attractive dance. And so it works for everyone. Whereas
everyone was happy.
It seems like Hollywood got taken over from straight men, where they would make movies for both people, because what men want, women will want anyway. And now it's just got women and gays. And now they're making movies, but they just, like, we'll get everything for... All the men are amazing. But they have no idea what men want in women. Like, none at all. And so you end up with very lopsided movies that are all kind of female morality based.
All right. Hold on, let me get
Male
this up.
gaze versus
What
female gaze. And every time I hear it, I think gaze. G-A-Y-S.
Hey, I wish Hollywood was run by the female gaze, because they'd probably have more attractive women in it.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have Scarlett Johansson in Jurassic Park.
What are your
Indiana Jones reboot? As someone who's very new to the franchise,
Pedro.
it could be no.
Firstly, it's going to happen. Secondly, think of the videos.
I mean, this would be gold for a lot of YouTube channels. Now, I like to call Pedro Daddy PP or Papi PP because that's his nickname that his friends have put upon him.
Triple P, Pedro Pascal propaganda.
I think they need to just let this
P.
It's another
All the
case of,
Ps.
like, just not letting franchises rest and coming out with something fresh and new. Because I mean, it was done for a while, and then they brought it back with the Shia LaBeouf one, and that one didn't go over well. But I feel like that one is
driven by him, Harrison
Ford.
Ford.
Yeah, that one
Harrison
didn't go over
Ford,
well.
no
But
Indiana.
I think now people like that one more since, like, what we've gotten from this last one. I don't think it's needed at all. Like, it says right here, like I read it, it's like they're letting the franchise rest for a bit before they do a full reboot of the franchise. But you're already talking about it.
What
which
is a
means,
bit? What is a bit? 5
exactly.
years, 10 years, 20 years?
No, probably like not even 5. They're probably already know who they want to have.
But guess
you know?
what? Your last thing did not work. It
No.
flopped completely. So if you want to revive this franchise, you have to put it on ice for at least maybe 5 years at minimum. I'd say 10 years, but then you actually have to find a strong lead that can take over Harrison Ford. And right now, do I see anyone that can take over for Harrison Ford? Absolutely not.
Yeah, no, it's crazy because we see them milking these, cash cows for all they're worth, right? But the last one didn't do well. So it's like they're learning absolutely nothing. Like let it, like you said, put it on ice for a little bit because the last attempt did not go over well. If you're gonna revive it, reboot it, let it chill for a little bit. Yeah, I agree with Jedi here. I could really see Chris Pratt being a good Indiana Jones, but he is like probably if they're gonna reboot it, they're probably gonna go younger.
They also need to, not only with casting choices, but writers. The main thing is writers, but then on top of that, producers, showrunners, and the director. Because the heart of what Indiana Jones was not what I saw in that last movie. So if they don't understand why people like Indiana Jones, then they're never going to be able to make another movie magic Indiana Jones. People have been saying Indiana Jones is 3 movies.
Yeah.
Let that sink in. So if it's just 3 movies, why do the other movies suck? Why don't all the fans love the other ones that have come out?
Not a good thing.
One, he tried to top himself in the past because he hated his life so much.
Yeah, so it's hard to get excited about anything right now, but this, I mean, they already screwed up the last one, so like give it a rest. Like just give it a rest.
They're not going to give it
let him retire. He doesn't even want to do these movies anyways.
He's not going to, I don't think he's going to be in it. When they're saying a full reboot, they're going to have it someone else.
Did you see the interview though, where a woman interviewer was like, me and my friend have always thought you're really attractive. And he's like, I am like 78 or whatever he is. I'm just like, but I do appreciate the compliment.
Can still be attractive by any means.
You could. It made his day, basically. But you were like, we still think you're really hot. It's like, well, I don't have the energy that I used to.
You don't back up, ladies. I can't do this. Oh my gosh. Black Cane for 2. Thank you. How do you stop an Italian talking? Handcuff them.
Okay,
give him a pizza.
I love Wicked. I'm gonna talk about when we went out for dinner with the Capable Gentleman, and
and she got a black eye. She's like,
no. Let's just say she talks with her hands for reasons, and that's fine. And I love that about her. And
yeah, it's all fun and games until she's holding cutlery.
She wasn't holding cutlery. It was just there were incidences, and. It was a fun night. I loved that. That was one of my favorite dinners that we had, actually, to be honest.
When she's holding cutlery, she turns into the ballerina.
No, that was a good dinner. Food was great. Company's great.
It was a lot.
Drinks were really good.
Yeah, very, very good. Very good.
I would expect so with the Capable Gent. He should be able to recommend some alcohol.
Oh, frick. I love Lee so much. My favorite story of him in like a group setting, he showed his cologne collection, and let's just say cologne on its own is a different smell to cologne on skin. So we were testing different colognes on all these different skins, and we were just like sniffing each other in the not non-sexual way, just to smell.
Is there a way to sniff a person in a non-sexual way?
There is. That's why I found out I really like the vanilla tobacco scent.
No, you don't. You like the vanilla tobacco scent on a person.
Well, including myself.
I mean, that's quite narcissistic.
It is.
You're like, no, it's got to be on me. Otherwise I don't like it if it's not on me.
Between Tom Ford and Penhaligon's, okay, vanilla tobacco are my 2 favorite scents. I'll admit it.
Only on me, though.
Maybe other people will see.
Cakebox cake box for it's Norwegian, right?
Norwegian krona.
Yeah,
500
500.
arrows.
Arrowhead.
I only know
That's a
that
lot
you
of
knock.
krona.
Well,
Thank
I only know
you.
that you knock an arrow. Like that's all I know.
Thank you so much. Arrowhead managed to make Sony unban the banned countries recently, and now even the Xbox crowd are getting it. Oh, Helldivers. The reason Aliens on Super Earth wasn't from the start is because of the story that has been going on over the last year.
Well, I mean, the reason why they weren't there from the start is because their models weren't ready and stuff. From what I remember, even when I was playing, even a few months in, the blank models were in the game, but they weren't rendered. They didn't have AI. So they just weren't production ready. It is a nice thing that they do though with the ongoing story and the missions that they send everyone on and stuff. Even if they hadn't had the PlayStation debacle, I think they needed a big patch around that time to keep people interested. If you want, it's the issue with a permanent game. You need permanent and quick updates. And they had that for a while, but you need big updates periodically.
Yeah, to keep people interested.
Yeah.
Engaged.
Yeah.
And when people found those files in the system folder and leaked them, everyone thought it was coming soon. And then it was like 6 months to a year later. You can't do that.
Yeah, no. If it gets leaked, you're gonna have to release it sooner than you expect. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let me make sure I didn't miss any here. Nope, I didn't. All right, we caught up on super chats. Yay!
What? We're caught up? That is so
It
unnatural.
never happens.
See, every time Disbrew and I are just unsupervised without Wicked, we go for 4.5, 5 hours.
Because I'm
forgetting
I'm just like, she'll end it at some point. And
At
so it
some
just
point.
At some point.
When
No,
X-Ray
but
realizes
the-
what the time is when we leave.
But the worst part is I don't realize what the time is. And that's when I was like, oh crap, we haven't like gotten to even close to the close of the show and we've gone over. It's not a bad thing. I think it's a great thing in terms of I have fun with the show and I always have. Like Saturdays, don't want to change it.
No.
I will work to work this day in that sense. Like make this day
quite a
work
few
out.
times you're like, I'm
Great.
gonna need to sleep before the stream, but I really want to be on the stream.
But I'm
Yeah.
gonna nap. I promise I will.
I just need a nap.
I do that.
Yeah.
I do that quite a lot. Like I've done quite a few streams where I've just gotten up like 5 minutes before the stream.
Worth
It's
it.
YouTube. You sleep when you can. That's what we learn.
Absolutely.
Well, what do you have coming up? You're home now, X-Ray, so I'm sure regularly scheduled programming is
Yes!
back.
All the regular streams are back. So tomorrow I have art in the morning, which I am building, crocheting my new blanket. This one, I'm so tempted to steal this
Breaking
for myself. But this is the new blanket. That will be on there. And then Sunday Funday, we're gonna be playing Peak. And then Forbidden Frontier, we
nice.
have Archaic Lens coming on. We're going to talk about statues all over the world that have a lot of similarities with it. And then, do I have anything that I kind of want to highlight this week? Gary's book is coming out next Friday. So
Oh.
watch out for that.
Nice.
No, not another fart blanket. Just a regular blanket. Fiesta cat.
What do you have coming up? What videos, Disparu?
Might fart on it if you ask specially. So, no, do you remember when that was like a meme and people were like selling in jars?
Fart in jars, yes.
Do you know why that trend ended? Because they all end up in hospital.
Yes. I'm not
Unironically.
going to do that on purpose. I don't fart.
No, but it still made me. I always thought they just like closed jars. It's like no, they were genuinely doing it, and that's how they ended up in a hospital.
Yep. Because they eat foods that
They
promote
became
them
so
from farting.
bloated it injured them. Yeah, it's kind of wild.
It's not healthy for you to live that lifestyle.
So yeah, I have the finale of Ironheart coming out. Then I have videos that I want to talk about: Pedro, Zegler, AI. I think I've got a list somewhere of other things, but there was so many videos that I wanted to make. Oh, the Superman marketing that I want to make for weeks, but there's always been something else. And that's just got worse as time has gone on. Yeah, I have loads of different topics I need to make videos on. I just don't have the time. Because of Ironheart releasing 3 episodes
Busy
a week like
this
monsters. Monsters!
Well, I'm home now as well, so my regular scheduled streams will be back tomorrow. I'll be doing the Sunday night stream with Capable Gentleman. I think we're gonna play Dead by Daylight because he hasn't played that in a while, and I like the playing the Five Nights at Freddy's chapter right now. It's a lot of fun. And I'm probably gonna get back to the Expedition 33 gameplay.
Yes.
I only
What
played it
act are
one
you on?
stream. I only did walk like 3 hours, so I'm like in the beginning.
Oh, so you didn't finish Act 1. You need to
Yeah.
finish Act 1.
Yes,
so good.
yes. So I
It's
gotta
so
get
good.
back to that. I started it before I left because I'm like, I wanted to wait, but I'm like, no. Like I want to start the game. So I started it right before I left. So kind of messed it up. But yeah, we'll get more of that. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. It's good to be. It feels like it's back in order because we're all home.
We're all home.
Yes,
It took a while to get there.
It did. We made it though.
It
But
makes me laugh when other people talk about video, like, oh, Expedition 33, its story is so nice and lovely. And I'm like, I'm looking forward to RimWorld because it's getting a new expansion, and I can make a village of
Sounds
murder
dirty.
hobo, like psychopathic murder hobos that eat human flesh and suck the organs out of people to pay for their own food. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Dirty.
well,
Like,
I'm gonna
RimWorld is an incredible game. It will destroy your
It's-
life because you'll spend so much time on it, but you can do anything.
sounds so weird.
You can make the happy civilization where everyone's in peace and harmony, or you can make the psychopathic cannibals that will kidnap the people that invade them, harvest their organs, and sell them back to them.
Sounds
Interesting. Well, I'm gonna send you guys over to Jay. Looks like he's playing Mario Kart. So we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Excited. Bye.
So-